How mean is that? You know, it's funny. Bill Gorgo, I haven't seen him in 18 years. He has no idea. I just took his head off in a fucking ballroom before Murph and the Magic Tones come on. And until then, don't go change it.
Schmitty Comes Alive. Available only on the Joe Business page at MikeSchmidtComedy.com.
Oh, yeah. I am awake and alive and alive. I'm so great, I gotta say it twice and cut it out once. My head's a syrup bottle that's getting tipped over every Wednesday. You're a storyteller in a storytelling podcast, and the only story you're telling now is a story about stories you don't want to tell. What the fuck? Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy podcast. Folks, I think we're clear of germs at this point. We might be. We might not be. Poor Lily is still ill, as you can hear, as she coughs away there. And I walked in today, and I'm like, well, you know, hopefully she feels okay, because I knew she wasn't feeling exactly perfect. But I was hoping she was going to at least be okay to let us get through the show. And then I walked in, and she just fucking hurled rage all over me about a million different things. And and the thing is, I don't know if Lily's aware of this. I come here, and I am expected to be funny for an hour or two. So when I walk in and I get basically yelled at for nothing I did, and it wasn't yelling at me, it was just yelling in general. But then I would ask for certain things. Like I just stood there because I know better than to say anything or do anything when she's like that. So, because you know, I'm awful. I mean, believe me, as a guy who gets fucking mad, I am not the guy. I mean, I totally will not get in your way if you're pissed. Like I will just sit there with my hands in my pockets and look like a dumb fuck, which is honestly, that's 23 and a half hours out of my day. I gotta be honest with you. I have my hands in my pockets looking like a dumb fuck, but the other half hour is me just pissing people off, obviously. Or being mad, or just sulking, and I did something stupid yesterday that fuck. Should I go into that now? All right, 1 second. All right, remind me to come back to that. Yeah, okay. I'm in trouble at home, folks. Then we'll talk about that in a minute. And I will tell you this: it's my fault. Because I'm stupid. I'm a dumb person, and I do things that are dumb, and I don't think that they're dumb, and it's nothing that an adult would do. Like an adult should never do the things that I do, folks. Ever. Any of the things that I do. Adults should never behave in a manner that Mike Schmidt behaves in. And top of the list, referring to yourself in the third person. Obviously, adults should never do that. I don't know why I did that in that sentence, but it seemed like the thing to do. So I walked in here today, and I was quiet and sullen, and I had my cooler slung over my shoulder, and then Lily just fucking Tasmanian deviled her entire house. I'm tired of this, I'm tired of that, and this doesn't go here, and I don't know where this goes, and I'm moving, and I'm getting my own apartment, and I'm leaving and I'm just standing there, because I don't know what the fuck to do, because if she moves, that's fine. I mean, I'm all for her moving out of the oldest building in Hollywood. If it's closer to me, all the better, but if she winds up moving to fucking Torrance or some bullshit, then this show's going to be done by phone, because I drive as far as I'm going to drive now. Before I drove to Burbank, now I drive to Hollywood. That's the parameters. I'm literally, Burbank and Hollywood are equidistant from my location. Like, I mean, going to her old place in Burbank or going here, it's the exact same distance, the exact same time. However, if she moves anywhere like an inch further than Burbank or Hollywood, this show is done via phone or a homing pigeon. I'll buy a fucking bird and I will train it to carry the biggest scroll in the history of fucking scrolls. You will think that a king has put an entire fucking village to death, because I will have to tie a long-ass scroll with my narrative on it, and Lily will have to just read it into a microphone monotone. And she will. By the way, that's a great name for a band, Microphone Monotone. How great is that name? That's either a band or a game, like fucking Gnipganop. That's like the Gnipganop of band names. Fuck it, you know what? Name your band Gnipganop. Microphone Monotone is out the window. Why wouldn't you take Gnipganop for yourself? Because I will fucking just have Lily recite it, and you guys can enjoy it that way. And hopefully for you, something bad will have happened, so she'll have a little fucking jalapeno in her voice, a little bass in her voice, a little fucking anger, a little rage, a little heat, a little fastball, like I walked into today when I walked in the fucking house. Because last week, folks, she was ill, and I tried to be as nice as possible. I tried to like, I'm quiet because I'm really good at making people angry. So I mean, I know not to make any sudden moves. A sick Lily's like a cobra in a basket, man. It's like you move the wrong way and you're going to get fucking bit. You're going to get venom in the eye in the form of phlegm or vitriol. And so I thought that was kind of blown over. And here's my favorite part, too, by the way, folks. She's like, oh, my God, I'm so sick. I'm dead. I got to do a clip show. And then I go on Facebook. Hey, I just met Bob the Magician on Saturday at the fucking Magic Castle. Wait a second here. Wait a second here. Sunday. I don't care when. This is your job. This is something you do. And I got chased out of your house so you can go meet some fucking squirting flower asshole. The hell with that.
4 days later.
Doesn't matter.
I went and saw Jack Goldfinger and Dove.
Doesn't matter.
They haven't performed in 3 years.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Does not, I hadn't performed in a week, and you chased me out of your goddamn house. I was here.
I went up, saw them, and came home.
So what? That's your job. This is your goddamn job. Fuck Jack Fuckfinger and his goddamn flying birds. I don't give a shit. Don't care. Tell him to rent his tuxedo in another town when you're sick. Not interested. Tell him that is not my card. You are my producer, and you will sit here and record my fucking show. You don't get to have a social life. If you run me out on a fucking Wednesday, clad in nothing but a blue Snuggie, chasing me out the door, then you don't get to have fun for the rest of the week. I'm surprised you didn't cancel the tease Monday. I was a little upset about that. See? Well, you should have. Wait a minute. Hold on. If you would have canceled the tease after seeing Jack Fucknose and his goddamn flying rats, I would have been pissed.
Okay. Going for 30 minutes to see a show and doing 9 hours worth of work.
Don't care. Doesn't matter.
Okay, fine.
Doesn't matter.
Whatever.
You and fucking John Silvertongue and his fucking flying aardvarks.
And Dove, they're amazing.
I don't care who they are or what they do. All I know is they cost me my week.
They're the Knipkenhoff of magic.
Really? Hold on, I'm back on board with fucking Jack Platinum Nose. I'm in. Goddamn Jack Tinhart and his flying pigeons. I'm in. That's the Knipkenhoff of magic, folks. How do you turn that down? We're in. They're the microphone monotone of magic. I should have been there. Why am I not invited to that? Because I can't be? Because literally you will chase me away? Because you knew that if you called me in a social circumstance after chasing me away for work on Wednesday, I would have been mad. Like I am now. Sort of. Not really. But if you would have canceled the fucking tease after going to see this guy, that would have been awful. Jesus Christ. If you go see fucking Phil Aluminum Head and his fucking flying dog, I would have been furious if I'm the teased customer. Owner. You're the owner. Yeah, so I come here last Wednesday, and she's huddled in a Snuggie. And then I talked to Max, and I go, dude, the whole show is, it's a clip show, but the whole thing's about how she's sick. And he's like, really? I go, there's maybe a Dustin Hoffman thing there, because we were talking. I told him some of the stuff I said because I could remember, and I told him, and then he comes up, and he goes, what was she wearing? I said, dude, I kept talking about her blue Snuggie, and he's like, well, what if we had like her tits were out, and you were putting Vicks VapoRub on her tits, and I'm just like, keep talking. But slower. And so I thought about it. I go, dude, that's it. That's perfect. And he's like, all right, yeah, I can do that. And my favorite part is he's like, I can do that. And then I get the picture and I'm like, oh, dude. Because I always tell him when it's a show and it's a clip show, but I don't think I've done my job. I'm always like, dude, you got to save this show with your artwork. You've got to do me a favor. You're my Hail Mary. You're my Doug Flutie, and I'm the Gerald Phelan, and I'm going to grab this in the end zone and win this fucking game, all right? Do me a favor and make this happen. You're the Roger Staubach, and I get a Drew Pearson. I'm going to push off Nate Wright, and I'm going to pin your artwork to my hip and stroll into the end zone in Bloomington Stadium in 1975. That's what I got to do, goddammit. Look up that deep fucking football reference, folks. I was 8. All right. That was where Hail Mary was coined. That was where the phrase Hail Mary was coined. Roger Staubach to Drew Pearson in Bloomington Stadium against the Minnesota Vikings in the playoffs. And then they went on to the Super Bowl where they lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers 21-17 as Lynn Swann played out of his mind, making amazing catches. All right. Dude, you know what's funny? I could go, I can do Super Bowls like that all the way until about 1995, and then I can just kind of tell you who was in it and who won, maybe. But from fucking 68 or 67 all the way up until 95, I could probably name the final scores and the MVPs of every Super Bowl. Is that good? No. Is that anything that you should care about? No. But it doesn't matter. I used to be fucking Jack Silver Sports and his flying death bats of knowledge. That's who I was. I was the Gnip Gnop of sports trivia. That's who I was. I was the microphone monotone of knowing shit about the Super Bowl and the World Series. Oh fuck! That's why I was on that fucking game show. I won. What the fuck was it called? What was it called? Answer me, folks. Ultimate Sports League, Ultimate Fan League, UFL, Ultimate Fan League. Yeah. I don't know. I had a jersey. Did I ever tell you this story, dude? They made jerseys for us. And this goes with basketball too. I'll tell you this for some reason. In basketball, I was on the Dallas Felons. I played a character named Marv Grunsky. And in that, I actually had to go for fittings. Like they had to put me in a uniform, and I'm a fucking, I just have a fat head on top of a barrel. I mean, that's how fucking disgustingly fat I was. Not that I'm not fat now, or I haven't been fat since, but then it was just this weird fucking. It looked like a costume. I mean, I looked like I was a rodeo clown. You know, when they jump in the barrel and they run away to get fucking. That's what I looked like with clothes on. So they made a costume for me for the Dallas Felons with a jersey, like an actual sports jersey and shorts, unfortunately. And we wore it. I filmed, like I said, for 2 months on that show, on the movie Basketball. And it was me and this guy, Matt Sloan. I should do a whole show on this at one point and talk about, because there's no point in going. And it's funny. You're like, why not talk about it now, Mike? I got other stuff to tell you about. I'm in trouble at home. So, but Ultimate Fan League did the same thing. They made a Chicago jersey for me and my buddy Paul. I won't say his last name because he doesn't want to be identified. But, it's funny. I did the Greed episode last week as we were talking about this, and people wrote me, and they're like, there's a guy on Twitter, a guy, Dustin, was it maybe? And he's like, hey, is there any video that exists of you on Greed? I want to see it. And I wrote him, and I said, well, he goes, I looked all over the web for it and I can't find it. And then on my Facebook page, on the Westside 86 Jokers fan club page, which you can join, by the way, folks. I never talk about the fan club page on here because it's always ridiculous for me to mention that I have a fan club, but it's just nice people who like what I do. So if you want to go to the Westside 86 Jokers fan club page and join it, that'd be cool. You get nothing at all. I periodically will zoom in there and write something that's just for those guys, or I'll thank them because they are the only ones who care, which is nice, and I appreciate that very much. But I should do more for the fan club people, right? Shouldn't I? But here's the thing: the fan club people are too spread out. Like, even if I was like, "Hey, let's have a Mike Schmidt convention," hold on, that's a terrible idea. And on its way out of my mouth, that was such a terrible idea. I couldn't stop laughing. I'm sure you are.
We'll get a hotel. We'll book the weekend.
That is the Gnip Gnop of conventions, folks. Because literally that's how bad that idea was. I couldn't even get it out with like my throat attempting to expel something in its place. Like I'm like a Mike Schmidt convention. Like it was a terrible idea. But also people are too spread out to make that work. In addition to the fact that that convention would be the most boring, horrible. It's just a bunch of people sitting around going, "What's Mike gonna fuck up while we're here?" I mean. That's the only real reason to attend a convention with me there. It's like at the podcast festival. At least you had other interesting people like Doug Benson and the Never Not Funny guys and Graham and those dudes. You could see Greg Fitzsimmons walking through the hallway and go, wow, that's Greg Fitzsimmons, talented comedian and podcaster. With me, you're like, that's Mike Schmidt. Is he going to punch a host? What's he going to do? What dumb thing has he done that I haven't heard about yet? And what dumb thing does he have on the agenda that hopefully he's going to do in front of me so I can tell the story about it later? Our friend Sue flew in from fucking Iowa, and I'm sure the whole time she was just like, I hope he hits somebody. That'd be great. That's because I'm a walking car wreck in jeans. That's it. I'm a smash 'em up. I'm a human smash 'em up. All right. But I'm trying not to be that guy, folks. As you know, you all know that. You know who knows that more than anybody? The Westside 86 Jokers. Join the page, folks. The Gnip Gnop fan clubs. So a guy on that page, he wrote on there, and he's like, same thing. He's like, dude, does anybody have the video of Mike on Greed? And some dude goes, I haven't been able to find the video, but I did find this page which mentions what happened. And I'm like, all right, I don't know what that means, but I went and looked at it, and it has a kind of a breakdown of Greed, like this weird thing. And it says, it has quotes, like IMDb will have famous quotes from something. And the quote was, announcer, Michelle Schmidt. It has the quote, and me going, that's Michael. And it said, huge applause from audience, or whatever. And which made me laugh that the guy put that in the quotes. Huge applause from audience. If I'm that audience, I'm furious they didn't get credit individually. How do you not get individual credit? They all went crazy. So they wrote that on the Facebook page, and people were like, I don't know, I've been looking for it. And so I figured I'm going to be the hero. I'm going to go find it. So I Googled it and I looked, and there's a bunch of greed clips on YouTube. And you know what's funny? You can see my friend Brian Noonan winning $100,000. That's on YouTube. Yes, he won $100,000. Fuck. You know the thing that happened to me didn't happen to him. So the guy on Twitter asked me, he goes, is there any greed stuff? I used to watch that show all the time and I don't remember this happening. Because I guess I was on the pilot episode, like the thing where they fucked my name up. I didn't remember that it was the pilot, because why not use that? I'm a genius. So, folks, I'm guaranteed ratings. I'm box office, well, I was going to say Poison, but that doesn't make any sense. Plus, they didn't show Greed in a movie theater. Why would they? So we can't really test if I'm box office poison. I may not be, although basketball bombed. I am box office poison, folks. That's good. We cleared that up quick. All right. So on the page, the guy, or on Twitter, the guy's like, hey, is there any greed footage? And this is exactly what I wrote to him. And I go, I actually have it on videotape. All I need to do is convert that to DVD, edit it, and then put it up on the web. In other words, you're never going to see it. Because, folks, I got to be honest, I can't be bothered to look for the videotape. All that other bullshit that I could never do anyway, it doesn't matter, because this mythical videotape that exists really does exist, but right now only in my mind, because it's in a box. You know what? I have boxes of videotapes, and they're being examined by top men. Top men. They're on the shelf in a warehouse by the Ark of the Covenant. That's where all of my videotapes are. That's where the Greed tapes are. That's where my Ultimate Fan League tapes are. They have been taken by top men into a warehouse, and you have a much better chance of finding the Ark of the Covenant before you do finding my Greed and Ultimate Fan League tapes. Or my performance on The Jersey, which exists, and I'm awesome in that, by the way. If you guys can find my performance in The Jersey, I occasionally, do I still get money for that? Like last thing I got was like an 18-cent royalty check because they showed it in fucking Singapore. I have no idea. I don't know why they're watching The Jersey over there. Especially, it's about a baseball game between the Dodgers and the Braves, and I'm a Braves fan with makeup on my face. Did I ever tell this story? I worked on a TV show called The Jersey, which was on fucking Nick or Disney Channel. I don't know what the fuck it was on. But when I got one for the audition, I had to improvise, and they were looking for a loud fan. So, and this is fat, again, Mike in a barrel. All right. So I showed up and improvised and yelled. And also I knew sports at the time. Like I still do now. But at the time they're like, okay, it's a game between the Braves and the Dodgers. And so I knew everybody on every team because I was playing fantasy baseball at the time and everything. So I was just improvising every name I could and just heckling and making fun of all of them. And I was making the guys laugh in the audition, which is always a good sign, by the way. So the cameraman was laughing, and the producers, I hadn't gone to producers yet. Okay. But here's the way auditions work. You will get called in, and there's 1,000 guys who look like you. And then you go in the room and you try to discern, well, what do I need to do to get to stand out? And then you try to stand out, but you're not going to ever. And you do what you can with the material provided. And actually, I enjoyed it when there was material provided. What I hate now is when they bring you in for just a look and you stand there, you stare forward, you move sideways, because I don't get a chance to let them see high wattage mic. I don't get a chance to let them see the microphone monotone of actors. I mean, it's all, completely shelved. So, and by the way, who am I kidding? I've been an audition in a year, folks. Couldn't that come in handy now? Wouldn't that come in handy now when I have no job? Because I have no agent, and I was talking to my buddy Chip, and he's like, well, you can submit into my agency and write his name on the envelope, which, by the way, never helps. I mean, it's cool that my friends are like, and because Chip works, you know what I mean? They'll usually take the word of a working actor, but if you just write it on a fucking envelope, I could have found his name on the internet, for fuck's sake. I mean, that doesn't do anything for anybody. And I've been referred by people and turned down before. Dude, Pardo tried to get me in with his agent like 3 different times, and the guy turned me down every single time. And then another comic named David Feldman saw me he saw me at an open mic, and he comes up to me and he goes, where do you work? What do you do? Like, he was so great and really interested because I was working topical at the time, which is what David does brilliantly. And I said, no, I don't know, man. Whatever. And he goes, well, do you have an agent? And I go, no. I go, I've tried a few times. And he's like, you got to get him with my agent. I will tell him about you. I will call him Monday morning. And I go, look, he's actually passed on me already a couple times because he happened to have the same agent that Jimmy had. And he's like, you need to be working or writing or something. You need to be doing something. And sure enough, he was very gracious and he made the referral. And then I called and they passed on me a third time. So good for them. And look now, look at the fucking failure that they've made of everything. Fuck them, huh? Look at the big mistake they made as I sit in a stripper's kitchen getting yelled at. Who knows how different my life could have been if they would have grabbed me? Why, I could be in a doctor's kitchen or maybe in an optometrist's kitchen. I could be in a lawyer's kitchen right now. Fuck. Who am I kidding? I would still be in a stripper's kitchen. It would just be a different stripper, and Lily would be here with me, but not working. Like, that was the only good thing that would happen. You know what? I would be in the Gnipkenop of strippers' kitchens, wherever that would be.
I'm not the Gnipkenop of strippers.
You're of strippers. I said of strippers' kitchens. You're gonna call this kitchen top of the line? No offense. I enjoyed Burbank a little more than this kitchen, quite frankly. But as you're the Gnipkenop of strippers, absolutely. You're the Gnipkenop of producers. But no, this is not the Gnipkenop of strippers' kitchens. And that's what I was saying before you cut me off. I said we would both still be a team because you'd be the Gnip because you're the Gnipkenop of laughers. Let's be honest. So you would still have to be involved in the show in some way. And I would be in that weird stripper's kitchen with some off stripper, and she records me, and you just sit with me and laugh, and she resents you and hates you. We would need your laugh to counterbalance the hatred from the other stripper.
Sorry.
That's okay. Don't be sorry. But I was talking about 100 different things, and I can't remember any of them. Where was I?
Got passed on
By the agent.
by the agent.
3 different times.
And then the other agent. Oh, how it works getting an audition.
So you go into this room. There's a million dudes that look like you, and then you try to stand out in some way when they bring you in. And so they brought me in, and it just so happened it was about a baseball thing, and there were guys actually in the waiting room looking at the sports section trying to find names of people like sports guys and sports teams, and then exchanging, hey, do you know who this is that we're talking about? Do you know anybody? And they're helping each other out, which is good. And I was sitting there, and if they asked me, I would say, well, it's the Braves and the Dodgers, so you can look them up there in the sports section. And there was this dog-eared sports section that was being passed around from every barrel dude to every other barrel dude. Big fat guys just reading the same sports section, their greasy thumbs just making a mess of the print. And I'm sitting there because I know baseball. So they bring me in, and they're like, and it wasn't even producers. It was just, so the way auditions work is you go in then and you try to make an impression on tape. And then the producers see it, and they will call you back. And the producers will call you back, and they will check you out with all of the other people that they've culled the herd. All right. They separated the wheat from the fat chaff. You're now the wheat. Okay. And the fat chaff is gone. You're the fat wheat. So I was fat wheat, and I would get called in to try to audition, and you've got to just try to compete against those other dudes. And then sometimes they will put you on a veils, or they will have a different callback system where they actually cull more fat chaff away from the fat wheat, and you hope to make that whatever the fuck. So, it's a process is my point. I mean, you don't just walk in and they go, you're the guy. It's not a soda fountain in fucking 1930s Hollywood. Okay. I'm not Clark Gable. I have no idea how Clark Gable got his job. I don't know if it was at a soda fountain. I don't know why. Because you always hear that story about someone who, is it Lana Turner? Who was it? Who fucking wandered in? Betty Davis? Some fucking old time actress. Was it Ida Lupino? May have been Ida Lupino. All right. Some old timey actress who walked into a fucking soda fountain and got cast by a dude. This show had a point. Literally, there was. I sat down here and I told Lily, I said, I'm paralyzed. And she goes, why are you paralyzed? I go, well, I haven't done a show. I didn't do a show last week. So there's like 1,000 things I kind of want to talk about. But when it's that way, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get into the show and do it. And then she's like, well, why don't you just start talking like you always do? And I said, yeah, but that doesn't help. I got to have a plan of attack. And I said, you're frozen. And then she told me a bunch of horrible things about a bunch of mutual acquaintances. And then I said, all right, I'm ready to do this show.
Thanks.
Part of that's true. So I went in to go in an audition for the show, The Jersey, and they said, all right, just start talking about you're a heckler at a baseball game. And literally there were guys, I could hear guys through the wall, and they're just like, you stink, buddy. A little pepper in there. You stink. Strike this guy out. I mean, they're awful, awful, awful. So I went in, And I had, a 30-second audition, which became a minute. And I think I named every Dodger and Brave who's ever played the game. Literally, like, I went through Dale Murphy and Biff Pocoroba and Chipper Jones and Greg Maddux and fucking John Smoltz. And, over on the Dodger side, I was talking about your Fernando Valenzuelas and your Steve Yeagers and your Steve Garveys. And at the time, everybody, I was just unloading on the Dodgers and the Braves and getting laughs, like, from the camera dude. And he's like, all right, thanks. So I leave because you never know what the fuck. You think you do good and then you split and you go back to the real world because it's the strangest. Your job, if you have a real job, you go to your job, you're there 8 hours and you know when you did a good job or maybe you didn't because your boss is a fuckstick, and then you leave because you don't give a fuck and you go and you have fun and you enjoy your life. My weird job is you show up and you stand there eyeing warily the other guys who all look exactly like you. It's like, you know what? My job is like being in Multiplicity. Like at all times when I was auditioning, it's just a bunch of clones of me, and we're all trying to step on each other's head to get ahead. It's crazy. So I go in, and that's why when you see dudes like Michael Berryman, the guy from Hills Have Eyes who looks fucking crazy, I can't imagine that guy doesn't work all the time, because when they're casting shit, don't they go, hey, get that fucking creepy dude from Hills Have Eyes, the bald one with the bug eyes, because there's nobody else who looks like fucking Michael Berryman, right? There's nobody else there are certain people out there when you go, because they will say stuff like, get me a Brad Pitt type. And you can find a bunch of dudes who are like knockoffs of Brad Pitt, which is awful. Then it's literally like the Costco versions of Brad Pitt. You've seen those guys. Or the Big Lots version of Brad Pitt. But there's no Big Lots version of Mike Schmidt. I'm the Big Lots version of Mike Schmidt. Mike Schmidt comes at Big Lots. There is no other place to look for me. I'm not carried in your better venues. You know how they say in the end of a commercial, available at finer Walgreens stores? I am not. What I bring to the table is not available at finer anything. Head to Big Lots, go to the dirtiest bin, rummage around in there, and you're going to find me in the bottom waving. Jesus Christ. I might think what I do is indispensable, but holy shit, is it awful. All right. You can find me. I'm human lunch meat. I'm nobody. I'm bologna in pants. God damn it. Why do I think I'm somebody special? Why do I think I'm anybody interesting? I'm not. All I bring to the table is everything that everybody else does, but louder. That's all I am. I'm a radio with the volume knob torn off. I'm nobody. Jesus Christ. I'm a light without a dimmer switch. God damn it. I make sure you can't sleep. That's all I do. That's my own superpower. I'm a light turned all the way up with no dimmer switch, or a radio turned all the way up with no volume knob. I keep you awake. That's it. I have no snooze alarm. Go to Big Lots, dig around. You're going to find me eventually. Jesus. So I go in for the jersey. I do that nonsense. And then you walk out and you just look at the other dudes. And here's the best acting you will ever do in your life as an actor. And this is completely true. As an actor, the best acting you will ever do in your career is when you walk out of the audition room, make eye contact with the other guys up for the part, and go, good luck. That is the best acting you will ever do in your life. Because you want them all to walk in the door and fall right on their fucking face so you can make your $800 in residuals. That's what you want. You want them all to fail miserably. There is no commiseration. There is no, hey, we're all rooting for one another. Fuck that. That is not the case. I want you to go in and suck and be terrible because you look like me. I want you to be the off version of me, and that's hard because I'm the off version of me. So you walk out of the room, you look at the other dudes, you're like, hey, good luck. Right. Lie. And then you leave. And you wait to get the 9 phone calls that say you got a callback, or you don't have a callback, or you're on avails, or all that bullshit. Well, with the jersey, my friends, I walked in, I crushed it with Braves. And again, the tape... and it's funny. You know what's funny? I wish this was a 1950s black and white film of the process. Like you would see me go in and then walk out, and then you see the cameraman do that weird music, and he takes the tape out and he puts it in an envelope, and it gets taken by courier over to the producers, and they look at it, and they sit around in a room with carnations and fucking cigars, and then they guffaw, or they don't, or they thumbs down or thumbs up you, and then they book whatever. But with the jersey, here's how it worked, folks. I left. I said good luck. I went home, and then a day later, I got a phone call. I was booked. I didn't have to go in for a fucking callback. I didn't have to be put on avails. I didn't have to go in and do the song and dance again. These fucking producers said, we want the guy from Big Lots. They just fucking... They weren't going to fucking go ahead and look for any shrimp or ribeye. They were like, fuck that. Bring us some prepackaged fucking cheese slices. Bring us the hostess of fucking actors. Bring us the gnip of fucking fat guys. And they booked me straight away, right on the spot, which was awesome. You know what I mean? But here's the thing, though. It's so funny. Again, my job is so different from, and it's not so different. Fuck, you have your jobs, and you might be an actor listening to this, and you're probably more successful than I am because I haven't done a fucking thing in years. In years, I haven't had a part, a role, other than the voiceover in The Life and Times of Tim last year, which was again a gift because my friend BJ Porter was a producer on there, and he recommended me, and they booked me as a sports guy, which was great. But as far as auditioning, man, I haven't done anything because my agents. And it's my fault. You know what I mean? I haven't really pressed them because my agents aren't high powered in the least. It's like literally like two grandmothers in an office, and they're nice people. And I will tell you this, it got to the point where I don't ever get sent out on auditions. Okay. And then I would get a phone call from them for an audition and I would groan. Oh, fuck, really? Which is stupid. That's why I'm in town. I'm in town to try to get acting jobs. And I was actually pissed off that they would contact me. And again, they're sweet people. They're very nice, but they never fucking think of me unless I'm out of town. And when they'll do is I'll be like, it happened when I was in St. Louis. They fucking booked me for an audition when I was in St. Louis, and it was the first audition they booked me for in like 6 months. And so then I had to call them and go, hey, I'm not in town. And then I've got to get that fucking sandblasting over the phone. Well, you know what? You've been told you need to book out on the website so we know not to submit you when you're out of town. And I want to go, you haven't called me in 6 fucking months. You don't know who I am. You barely know my voice at this point. I don't know how you stumbled into my fucking photograph, except for the fact they went, hey, you got any fat guys who haven't worked in years? And you went, I've got a file for that right here. And they opened it up and it was me and Abraham Ben-Ruby. Which is bullshit because he works all the time. They thought I was him at the bank once. Did I tell that story on here? Abraham Ben-Ruby was on ER. He was a big fucking, like a candy striper or a nurse. I didn't watch that fucking show. It was a hospital show, right? All right, good. But he was just a big dude, and he and I had a similar haircut for a while. And I went into B of A once, and they said hi to me, and they said, hey, Abraham. And I said, hi, because I'm stupid and don't fucking correct anybody. And she started to punch up my account. And if I was smart, I could have taken that ER money and absconded into the fucking night. But she starts punching buttons and all this kind of bullshit. And then I just go, hey, do you, and I gave her my card and she swiped it. She goes, oh. She goes, hi, Michael. And I said, hi. And I go, you called me Abraham? She goes, you look just like there's an actor who comes in here. You look exactly like him. And I go, seriously? She goes, he's in here all the time. And part of me wanted to go, if he's in here all the time, how would you mistake me for him? I don't, because, and so then what's funny is she's talking to me and she goes, look, and she points at the wall. Because again, this is fucking Hollywood, folks. His black and white headshot is on the wall and signed at the bank, at Bank of America. What the fuck do you put on there? Thanks for the money, Abraham Ben-Ruby. Thanks for watching my dollars in the money house. The fuck? I really enjoyed your safe, Abraham Ben-Ruby. Fuck you. Don't put your fucking headshot on the wall. Even if you're an actor and they ask you for that, you've got to be embarrassed to give it. I mean, I think it's bad enough at fucking dry cleaners and every other piece of shit place in this town. But man, at the bank, that's fucking weird. That's like a service industry thing. That's just dumb. That almost looks like he dropped it and they scooped it up in his wake and they framed it and put it on the goddamn bank. Because that's on them for putting it on the wall. It's on them for wanting it for the wall. But it's on him for even signing it. What the fuck? Again, what do you write? I really enjoy your tens, Abraham Ben-Ruby. Thanks for all the change, Abraham Ben-Ruby. Get the fuck out of here. By the way, if you don't want to go, well, I've said his name enough, you can Google him. But I will tell you this. Right now, he's on my TV all the time in that Geico commercial where the witch flies around the factory. He's the big dude who she asks for the broom, she lands, which, by the way, I think that's a good commercial. I don't quite understand where Geico's going with the 75 different ad campaigns. My friend Danielle Koenig does an amazing joke about it. You know what's funny? It's one of those things that I never thought about in my life. It was just commercials. Until on stage, Danielle talked about it, and I went, and I could not stop laughing because it hit me so funny because I went, she's absolutely right. She's like on stage, she's like, all right, they have a lizard, and then they've got, and she named like 5 different things that they had running at the same time, and I could not stop laughing because I just went, yeah, what kind of a fucking schizophrenic do they have running the ad campaign over at Geico? So Danielle, it just killed me because it was the thing where you just see the commercials, whatever. And you're like, what are these dumb commercials? But then when she finally put them all under one umbrella, and I just laughed my ass off. Fucking brilliant joke. So I'm at the bank. How did I get into Ben-Ruby? Who cares?
You went
Whatever.
into the bank and you look like him.
Yeah. But why was I at that bank? Wasn't there a reason? I don't know.
No, we were talking about when they called people in that looked like you. It was you and him.
Oh yeah. Okay, possibly. I don't know. Who cares? You're ill. You're in a fog.
That's it.
So I get booked for the Jersey, and I actually get hired. Well, I was talking about my agents and how they haven't fucking sent me for anything. Dude, and again, I'm out of work. I have like nothing now, folks. So I should call them and like prod them. But and again, my headshots don't even really look like me anymore. Because I mean, you see my headshots. They sort of do, I guess, but I have a different haircut. So then I'm like, I should go get new headshots. But I'm like, well, that's a fucking waste. Because I tell you what, when I got my new headshots and I tried to get new agents, I actually submitted to like 25 agents and didn't get one call. And I'm like, nobody in town needs Big Lots Mike? What the fuck is wrong with you people? So now, you know what I've been doing? Because again, I need work, and I still don't have a job, folks. As you may know, I'm trying desperately. I'm applying for real, jobs that I want, which are writing jobs. But I'm also applying for regular fucking jobs. Like, I mean, I've applied for office jobs and all sorts of bullshit. Anything I can find on Craigslist, I apply for it. I'm really close. I had it up yesterday and I stared at it, or not yesterday, fucking 4 days ago, because I stared at it every day for the past 4 days. I open it up and I look. And I stare at it. And I'm like, please somebody contact me so I don't have to do this. Please. And then I go and I look and I apply at like 4 other places. I've actually started looking for extra work, by the way. I should tell you that. Because I can do that and I'm union. And that's fucking $100 for 8 hours. So if I do that once or, 2 or 3 times a week, who cares? It's money coming in. It's any money coming in. I applied to be a fat ninja on Tosh.0. So if you see a show where they have fat ninjas, know that would have been me. But they never called. I didn't get a call back for it, which is fine.
Huh? You're not fat enough.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
I see. That's the thing is I don't know what. TV fat is different. It's funny because Lily is saying that I'm not fat enough to be a fat ninja. Bullshit. 200 pounds is fat on TV, and I'm well north of that at this point. So I'm like freaky fat. Like that was the thing is I might have been too fat for fat ninja because TV fat is completely different than real life fat. And granted, I'm still even fatter than real life fat. I'm Big Lots fat. That's what I am. That's the problem. I'm Big Lots fat. I've moved right past real life fat into Big Lots fat. So that's my fault. But again, like I said, TV fat is 200 pounds. They'll put on, like they used to think, everybody used to be like, God, Drew Carey's so fat. I'm like, whoa, that's not good because I'm 2.5 Drew Careys. Again, Mike in a Barrel is not getting booked anywhere. So, I get booked for, so I tried to be a ninja on Tosh.0. And what was the other fat thing I applied for? They had some other fat dude. And because that's what it's come to, folks. I always, in my head, was like, I don't want to be a stooge. I don't want to be just a fat dude. At this point, I don't give a fuck. Pay me. I'm 45 years old. I've got fucking $60,000 in credit card debt. You want me to be a fat ninja? I'm in. So it's so bad to say those words, but it's true. It's like, I feel like Coco in Flashdance when she took the fucking shirt off and she just started crying. Like she's just like, well, yeah, I guess this is just what you do. Well, this is just what you do when you're fat in this town. You fucking give in and be fat ninja because you can't get a job doing anything else. I'm trying. I want to. How the fuck can I not get a writing job? I don't get it. I'm fucking hysterical, folks. Because now, you know why? Everything I apply for is like all these segment producer jobs and reality jobs. They don't want to call you a writer, and all the shows are like reality shows or docu shows and shit like that. And it's like, dude, hey, put me on a reality show and let me write it. I will fucking do it. I'm an idiot. I will make them do a bunch of crazy shit, and you will love it. It'll be fantastic.
I'm scared.
You can't put me on the fucking Princes of Persia. You don't think I want to take 5 Iranian dudes to the mall and make them do dumb shit? That'll be hilarious. Why wouldn't I be running that fucking shoot?
God.
Believe me, I worked for a year making dogs with hoses interesting. I'll make those fucking real housewives of Beverly Hills do a bunch of dumb shit, and you'll watch it all the time. How hard is it to write that script? Literally, I made dogs interesting. I can make Brittany with 2 T's, 2 E's, and an exclamation point interesting. I'll fucking make that happen. Dumbfuck Brittany wakes up. Dumbfuck Brittany goes to the kitchen. Dumbfuck Brittany with 2 T's, 2 E's, and an exclamation point has wine at 9:30 in the morning. Done. Written. That script is finished. And then the Princes of Persia come in and they play finger cymbals and everybody eats hummus off of her belly button. Done. I'm combining shows. I make the Real Housewives meet the Princess of Persia. I have a superpower summit between these shitty reality shows. God damn it, I should be Captain Bravo. Get me on there and I'll combine all those motherfuckers into a stupid show. I'll have that $1 million matchmaker hook up the Princess of Persia to fuck all the Real Housewives and then buy a house from that fucking dude flipping houses. Done. There's your Thursday night, Bravo. And then the Top Chefs will come in and they'll make a bunch of meals for everybody. And then Honey Boo Boo's family will come in and have a food fight. It's perfect. Yes, I know Honey Boo was on a different channel. Who cares? It's a crossover. I'm running reality shows now. Everybody meets everyone. The Top Chefs cook a meal. Honey Boo Boo's family comes in. They have a food fight. And then Randy Jackson and fucking Mariah Carey get to judge it. Done. All reality shows are combined into one gigantic reality mess. I made Karen watch Honey Boo Boo over the weekend.
Why?
You know why? Here's why. Because Honey Boo Boo is cute. I don't care what anybody says. The show is worthless. It's terrible. It's done to exploit those people, and all of them are terrible. But that little girl, I don't care what you say, she's a cute girl. If she wasn't being, because again, would you want yourself when you were 4 or whatever the fuck to be on television and being told to do things? Like literally, because every time you see Honey Boo Boo do something ridiculous and everybody's like, oh my God, I can't believe she's being exploited. Just know that just out of eye shot, right behind the camera lens is a guy holding a pizza. And so she's doing all of that to get the pizza. Honey Boo Boo is a blonde seal. That's all she is. She does a fucking trick for the guy who's standing behind the camera waving a turkey leg at her. That's it. So you can't be mad at her. If I was 4 years old, my fat little fucking butterball body was sitting there and just beyond the camera was a guy holding a birthday cake with my name on it. Are you kidding me? I would dance around and get go-go juice and put a crown on my head, and who the fuck cares? I'm 4. I wouldn't give a shit if that shit was going to come back to me. Maybe it would have been normal because I was home alone with no parents, for fuck's sake. At least Honey Boo Boo's got a kid or a mom there. Everybody's like, oh, the mom has 4 kids and by 4 different guys and they've all been to jail. Yeah, so what? Don't put that shit on Honey Boo Boo. Honey Boo Boo is cute. She's 4. She doesn't know any better. She doesn't know her mom's a goof and her sisters are ridiculous. All she knows is Sugar Bear wants to take her skating and they want to film it, and she's happy about it. And then she gets to see herself on the TV. If I could see myself on TV when I was 4 with fucking Scooby-Doo and Fonzie, you don't think I would do anything they asked? Jesus Christ. Get off of her back, folks. So, because I had never seen the show. I don't watch the show. I've only seen clips of it on the internet. Okay. So, but I was watching football and the games were completely fucking boring and out of hand. So, Honey Boo Boo, there was a Honey Boo Boo marathon on. I just flipped on the guide on the DirecTV and I saw it and I jumped over to it and I go, Karen, you got to watch this. And she's like, what? And she was furious. Like she was so mad. Again, I'm in trouble at home, folks. So she watched part of it, and we watched Honey Boo Boo. Like, what did they do? They went to the convenience store with no shoes on. You know what I mean? And they made a big deal out of that. And then they, interviewed the black cashier who has a grill in his mouth, like a gold grill, and they're like, and literally, you might as well. I wish they filmed Honey Boo Boo like the old Batman show when there was a fight scene. Like they should show the black cashier talk and then smile and then have because they shined the light on his gold grill and it went ting. And you should just have like a spinning card that comes in and says racism. Like it just. Like on the Batman show, when it would say pow and sacco, just racism. Poverty line. So hire me for those shows. How can I not? And the whole thing, here's literally the whole reason I don't get a job. This is not true, by the way. I haven't talked to anybody, but this is my guess. Like, I don't know how to run the equipment. Like they use a thing called an Avid machine or Avid, I think. I don't even know what it's called. I'm really going to get a job now. Can I run the Avid machine? Get out. You know why? Because they don't stock Avid machines at Big Lots. I can run a cash register. Can I write the show on a cash register? Why not? Literally, they write Honey Boo Boo on a cash register. That's it. That script should just be duh and dollar signs. That's what the Honey Boo Boo script is. Just duh and dollar signs.
Oh my Christ.
So, but I don't know how to use like a string out. They want you to string out the footage and all that bullshit. I did have another job. Look, folks, I've had a lot of shit jobs in this town. Just like, like the security gig I would do, but then sometimes, like I said, I would get a writing job and then another comedian would take it over. And then when your writing job would end, you would be looking for another gig. Well, on the fly once, somebody called me. He's like, you want to do an overnight gig for us, just transferring tape? And I said, okay, yeah, what do I need to do? So I came in to this job by my house and, it was for a reality show. And again, it was something like, military high diving, literally one of those bad combination shows where they're like, hey, let's get a bunch of fashion models and feed them mashed potatoes and see what happens in the jungle. So I had to take the raw footage of those shows and transfer it to a different format. Like it was on these gigantic canisters that they film with. And then you had to put it on DVDs for the guys to review or whatever, for Avid or whatever the string out machine is. I don't know. All I know is I did this. It was get up, take a tape, put it in this machine, push 4 buttons, and then sit down for 45 minutes until it was transferred. And go on the computer or fuck around and then do that. And they paid me fucking $15 an hour to do that overnight. Because honestly, they paid me $15 an hour not to kill anybody in the building. That's what they did. Because it was that type of job where you're sitting there and you're watching, again, people are arguing in the jungle over flip-flops. Literally, people are stitching tops out of ivy and grass. Or someone's chasing a lamb through a gorge and you're like, oh, Jesus Christ. Because I tried to watch it. I tried. And it was, folks, you think Survivor is boring now? Imagine watching the raw footage of Survivor. What you're seeing on Survivor or Honey Boo Boo or, Military Families or Celebrity High Diving or any of this bullshit Princess of Persia, that's the interesting stuff they picked. They filmed those people for a week, a month, a year, and pulled that shit to show you the interesting stuff. Well, at some point, the Princes of Persia are just sitting around, and this is gonna mind boggle you. The Princes of Persia aren't always that exciting, folks. They aren't always sitting around a couscous buffet and having a fight with one another and giving each other the evil Persian eye, the Malokyo, or whatever the fuck they do. No, they are sitting there. Really? The Malokyo gotcha? All right. They are filmed for a week. Because I would watch these things in the jungle. All right. There was this show that I was transferring. They were in the jungle. Well, there's a lot of sitting around the fire and doing fucking nothing in the jungle. Talking about bugs. Have you ever seen 4 people you hate have a conversation about gnats? I mean, you've seen it in bite-sized form on Survivor where they show that cute little director's clip where literally 40 different people slap gnats and mosquitoes, and then they go cut to the tribal council and they have a fight in a wheel or whatever the fuck they do. I haven't watched Survivor in years. You know what's funny? I don't watch these shows and then I turn them on. I'll flip through and I go, oh, I haven't seen this in a while. And the rules, first of all, they're frozen in amber because they're exactly the same, the shows, until they're not. And they have some ridiculous twist. I would watch Survivor and it was the guys were there and then they would do a challenge and then they would do another challenge and they'd get peanut butter and then they'd go to tribal council and there'd be a bunch of backstabbing and someone would get sent home because there was a vote, whatever. Well, now you turn on Survivor and it's like, all right, you lost the challenge. You're banished to the Satan cloud and you have to climb to the top of a mountain and just sit there and contemplate why you lost the challenge while your roommates all get to go eat rice and peanut butter. And you're like, what the fuck happened here? Why did you make this? Because they have to try to keep people interested. They have to suck people in. So that happened with me with Iron Chef this week. I haven't seen Iron Chef America in forever. Okay. So, but I watched the next Iron Chef, which by the way is a horseshit show. Again, it's all reality. Fuck. You know what I don't need? Let's banish this phrase forever. I'm in it to win it. Or my game face is on. I mean, all those people say the same things. Or you know what? It's time to go to war. Really? It's time to go to war? Why don't you fly to Afghanistan and make shrimp sugar cane skewers for the Afghani soldiers, you dumb fuck. No one needs to hear about you're going to war at Hibachi Grill. Fuck you. And they do it all the time with football and everything else. Fine, who cares? And again, it's just verbiage, it's just talking. And I say a lot of dumb shit myself. That's what Big Lots Mike does. He says dumb shit all the time. And luckily enough, he's convinced some of you to listen to them. Him, them. I tried not to be third person there, and then I said them. I went like crazy fourth person. So who says dumb shit? What was I saying? That's what Big Lots Mike does, but why I was talking about dumb shit though? And I got lost. I'm lost, folks. You know why? Because this show is not about. It's supposed to be about any of this. I had a plan. I had things to I had to bring to the table with you folks.
I have no idea.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah. We were talking about Survivor, and then I want to.
Changed.
Yeah.
The people weren't doing the video.
Iron Chef America. All right, so. Yes. I watched it. I wanted to banish all of those phrases from reality shows. And then I caught myself in a lie and I said, I say dumb things anyway. All right, now I remember where I was. All right, should we roll the tape back? Let's get the top men to take the crate of tapes off the shelf. I actually went online and priced it. This week, I actually priced getting my tapes turned into DVDs. Because again, folks, I have no job. But it doesn't mean in the middle of the night you can't go ahead and price something for when you finally get out of the woods, when you finally make it to the other side and you go, finally, I can go ahead and get my videotapes turned into DVDs. That's what I want more than anything. Because don't you guys want to see Rick Tocchet fight Don Jackson in the Stanley Cup in 1985? Of course you do. Don't you want to see all of Jay Leno's appearances on David Letterman? And it's funny, I will say this, as I sat at my computer and I thought about that, I bet I could fill a YouTube channel with all of the stuff I have on tape. I mean, I have a ton of stuff because here's what I would do, because I have no attention span, folks, as you probably know. I would, because again, we were talking about the jersey and I completely lost the plot on that. But, and not only that, I came here with an agenda, folks. I had stuff to talk about and I've completely rampaged off the rails and I've not gotten to it. And you would think, it's so funny because I come here and I have no confidence in the show. And you know what I hate, folks? I hate confidence. I hate people who have confidence. Enough of you and your confidence and thinking that you're funny. Or I won't say, I can't say a name. But I saw a stand-up comic who put his videotape on YouTube. No, not on YouTube, on Facebook. And somehow it wound up in my stream. I don't know who it was. This is last week or 2 weeks ago. I don't remember when. But if I see someone I don't know, because he was advertising his CD. Like he had a CD out and then he had a clip of himself and he's like, hey, this is promoting. And so I watched it. And it was like 15 minutes. And I was furious. I was furious watching it because it was terrible. It was terrible. Now, look, I'm not great. And as I've mentioned, I haven't acted in a year. I haven't done real stand-up in forever. I'm surrounding myself with you people who like me so I can play to a choir instead of actually playing to a crowd. But fuck you and your false confidence and your CD that you've put. Because again, his CD, like his face was on it with the name of it. It was one of those real confident names, like I have a big dick and fuck you or whatever the fuck. I don't, And look, if you got a big dick, good for you. Go ahead and walk around. Because, dude, if I was good looking with a big dick, I would hit on every girl at every stoplight. Like, it wouldn't even be an issue. And I wouldn't even do it in a cute way. Like, I wouldn't need to be a closer or whatever. I'd just be like, hey, are you working? Are you busy? Are you married? Because let's fuck right now. Because I have a big dick and I'm good looking. That's what I fantasize it would be like to be a good-looking guy with a big dick. Like, you would just walk around all the time with this misplaced confidence, and you would just want to fuck girls. And then girls, of course, would respond because in my fantasy brain, big dick, good-looking, you're just going to get laid all the fucking time at stoplights. And you would pull the girl over. Hey, pull over. Let's fuck right now in my Subaru. Because big dick, he doesn't have to work a real job, but somehow he got a Subaru. You know why? Because he didn't have enough money to afford like a really nice car, but he just wanted one big enough that he could fuck girls at the stoplight. And so he went ahead and got the Subaru that he could afford. Or actually, you know what? Bullshit. He was fucking a housewife for a long time and then she gave him a Subaru. She bought it for him because she couldn't go ahead and make a really larger purchase. Whatever the fuck. Big dick, good looking guy is. That's what he does. He drives a Subaru. Anyway. But fuck confidence. All right. So. Because this dude, he was so bad. Like, and he had that, you guys have seen it. Have you ever seen a comic that's not funny? But he owns the fucking stage and you're like, oh my God, why? Why do you think that you're good? You're not good. You're so bad. I would prefer to see like a misfit dude who's really funny out of left field and isn't sure about it. Who, because I go, look, I go both ways. All right. I have crises of confidence and I don't think that I'm good. And then I go the other way where I think there's nobody better. All right. But I try to find a happy medium in the middle where it's like, just be funny. And don't fucking worry about it. But I've seen dudes who are awful comedians. Awful. I used to see them in Chicago all the time. They're terrible. But they own the stage and they get booked. And then they call guys and they get booked. Like they're able to get... Because I would get on the phone and if a booker would be like, well, do you think you're ready for this? In my head, I would just go, well, I don't know. Am I really ready for this? Whereas these other dudes are just like, I will burn your room to the ground. I'm the greatest comedian who ever lived. And they go, great, you're in. And then that guy will give a mediocre week, but he'll continue to get booked because he's great on the phone and he has confidence. I didn't have any confidence. I'd call up and I'd be like, hey, man, I'm calling to get some weeks of work. Well, last time you were here, it didn't go well. Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, because it didn't. I played Zanies. Zanies is my home club in Chicago. When I say home club, I just mean it's located in Chicago and it's the most popular club. They want nothing to do with me. Nothing at all. They hate me because the last week I was there booked there, I showed up late one day and I missed a show because I was caught in traffic. Yeah, I've talked about it. I know.
Oh, yeah. It sucked.
I know, but are you...
No, I was just like, yeah, I remember.
Oh, I thought you were trying to broom me. Like, fucking... I thought you were trying to broom me through. Yeah, it just, that's my fault because I was terrible. And it was my own fault. But then I tried to call up and get, to smooth it over, and they want nothing to do with me. And even now, like 10 years later, I could call them. Bullshit. You know what? You know what would work? Because money works. If I could guarantee a full room for them, I'll bet Bert would book me. You know what? Actually, he might not because he knows what's best for his room. The one thing I will say about Bert is he cares about his rooms. It's not like, because that was the thing. He kept me out because he didn't think I could do the job, and he didn't like the fact that I was late, and that was that. I mean, sure, 13 years later, you would think that he might hear me out. And you know what's funny? In my head, I may have grown up a little bit, but then if he listens to this show, he knows that I haven't grown up at all. This show is like the greatest thing and also the bane of my existence because it reveals who I am to the people. Like, because I'm applying for these jobs and I'm like, they're like, hey, do you have any comedy on the internet that we can check out? I'm like, well, my Twitter and my Facebook aren't really indicative of that. But if you listen to my podcast, you'll definitely hear funny. And, and then I don't get a call back because I think they want to easily read something. I think that. I know that's not true. That's absolutely not true. In reality, what happened is they went and listened to the show and went, we can have this fucking maniac in our office working on our avid string out thing or whatever the fuck. But if you listen to the show, wouldn't you think, God damn, that guy could make a jungle interesting? Of course you would. That's the very first thing you think when you hear the first 5 minutes of this show. You listen to the first 5 minutes and go, holy shit, if that guy was in a jungle or giving his dialogue to people who lived in a jungle, he would absolutely make it interesting. Hire me, writers. God damn it. All right. The Jersey. So I went ahead and I did this show called The Jersey because I haven't talked about that, right? I got to finish that. Well, here's the story. Whatever. I got booked. Like, I completely booked. I've talked about this on here where I was awesome because I get to the set. I will tell you this part though. I don't know if I told you this or not. You know who's going to bust my balls on this? Rich Galvin. Fucking Galvin. Whenever I think I've talked about something, I'll say on here like with doubt. I mean, I think I talked about that. On my Facebook page the next day, Galvin will write, episode 4 of year 3. You went ahead and talked about this from the time, and he puts the time codes. And then I'm just like, dude, I don't know what kind of a steel trap fucking mind you have, but let me pretend that I'm not a doddering old fool who repeats himself every fucking week. And people will write me in emails too, go, yeah, you talked about it on Never Not Funny, or you talked about it on this. And which is great and good and I'm happy that people know what I've said. You know what was funny? I was telling somebody, Chip Chinnery, my friend Chip Chinnery, I was talking to him because I have the new mailing list and he was showing me how to, get the most out of it. And you know what's funny? Chip is like, dude, he keeps yelling at me about and not yelling. He's a nice man. He's a fucking success. The guy, he owns like 9 houses. He's been on TV a million times. And he keeps reaching out to me and going, you could do this so much better. You should write an ebook. He wants me to succeed and make money. So he's like, dude, you should totally change your mailing list. And he started to explain to me what I could do and and the things I should look for. And I'm like, ugh. So finally he's like, dude, why don't you just come over? I will show you what to do. And I said, all right, I'll come over. So last week I went to his house and I go into his office and he starts showing me things. And here's the funny thing. All right. I converted to MailChimp. I used to have a PHP list, mailing list, but then they started to fuck with me over the amount of emails I was sending out. Even though, because they were like, I talked about it on here, right? Where they were like, have these people signed up for your list? I mentioned that. Didn't I talk about that? Galvin, did I talk about this? So I had to switch. So I switched to MailChimp. You get a certain amount free, blah, blah, blah. So I switched to MailChimp. I had Farmer Ryan. He converted the list over and I was there. I've been using MailChimp for a month now, maybe a little longer. So Chip started to say, you don't need these links to look like this. You can make them this and da-da. And I told him, and so he goes, look, here, check this out. And he sent me an example of my mailing blast, my email blast. And it looked exactly like the one I send out. So I wrote him and I go, this looks exactly the same. I don't know what you're talking about. And so then he attached a PDF file of what he did and it looked completely different and streamlined and cool. And I was like, well, I really like the look of that. He goes, you know what it is? Maybe your mail client won't let you read HTML. And I said, well, yeah, that's exactly right. I use Squirrel Mail and they won't let me, because I get breakdowns from casting and it says you must have an HTML compliant client, whatever the fuck, to read this. So he's like, come on over to my house. I'll teach you all this stuff. So I go to his place last week and we sit down and he starts showing me what to do. And folks, I knew everything he was showing me. It's all the shit I don't want to do. It's all the work of making hyperlinks and making a streamline. I just want to type an email blast to you guys at 3 a.m. and send it to you because you don't care, right? Nobody cares. Bullshit. You care. Everybody cares. So he's showing it to me. And as he's showing it, in my head, I'm like, I'm not stupid. I know how to make hyperlinks. I know how to do this kind of stuff. And so I kind of tell him, I go, I know how to do this. Because I used to work, when I did a special thing, before I lost the hipsters, I used to post every week there telling them that a new episode was up. And they, they didn't care, which was fine. And so I finally stopped posting on a special things message board. But so I was sitting there with Chip, and he's giving me this lesson, and he's showing me what to do. And in my head, it was school. It was fucking school with Chip. And I'm going, I know how to do all this shit. Because I do. I know how to do that. It's just I choose not to do it. And I want to do it. It's the kind of thing where if I would have sat down on my own and fucked around for 2 hours, I would have been able to do it. I wouldn't have had to bother fucking Chip. But good for him for caring more about my career and making it look better than I did. So he finally prodded me into doing it. So tonight, hopefully, or tomorrow morning, today, who knows? It's when I'm doing the email blast, and it'll look different. It'll have hyperlinks and all that kind of stuff. Because I didn't know on MailChimp I could make hyperlinks. I was just sending out a plain text thing, and when I would open it, it would convert my website into this big fucking MailChimp link, and it pissed me off. So I've actually said in the email blast, this will not be as clunky. I swear I'll fix it. And then Chip made me come to his house and fix it. How the fuck did I get on that?
You lost me now.
Yeah. I went in circles. Galvin, where am I? And again, you know what's funny, folks? This show was not supposed to be about this. I had things to talk about. I had things that I was going to bring to you, and yet I have not done that. But that's fine, right? This show's on every week. Really? So, the Jersey. I get booked to do the Jersey. They call me up and they said I was in. So they hired me, and I get to the set, and so again, I swear I've talked about this, but if I haven't, I get to the set, and I had to be there at like 6 a.m, of course, because that's when they want you there. Because filming is going to start at noon. You have to be there at 6 a.m. And again, I'm not complaining. I'm being paid to act. You know what I mean? When you get there at 6 a.m, all it means is you get to go to the truck where they give free food to the people working on a set, and you get to eat that free food, and then you get to hurry up and wait. That's what you get to do. It's a ton better than fucking moving furniture or dealing with bed bug-ridden couches or throwing out garbage or working at Chipotle or whatever other fucking thing I've applied for over the past few weeks. Which is why I'm trying to get back into the extra side of things, man. That's what I want. I told you I played for Days of Our Lives. They needed extras, like tough guys blue collar guys at a bar and a construction site. I'm like, dudes, how are you not bringing me into Days of Our Lives? I would look fucking fantastic. I would translate perfectly there. And Victor and his Strawberries would love having me on there. I have no idea if that's the right show or is that might be Young and the Restless. Isn't Victor on Young and the Restless with the mustache? When I was a kid, for one summer, I watched Young and the Restless. I tried to adapt, and there was some storyline. I've talked about this on here, too. Victor was the guy with the mustache, and someone locked him in her basement. Some chick stole him and put him in her basement and fed him only strawberries. And that's literally my touchstone for all soap operas. That's I don't give a fuck about Luke and Laura. I don't care about Evil Twins. All I know is Victor was locked in a basement and had to eat strawberries. That's it. So now whenever I talk about it, even 30 years later, that's my reference point. Is Victor still in the basement eating strawberries? And the funny thing is, I'll bet that Victor dude is still on that fucking show. If it's on the air, I don't even know if it's on the air. And he's probably died 4 times or been in 4 comas and come back to life. And then he's gone to the bank, and there's a picture of him on the wall next to Abraham Ben Ruby. So I show up for the Jersey at 6. I get a breakfast burrito, which is my standard craft services order. When I show up early in the morning at craft services, whether it's Malcolm in the Middle, whether it's the Jersey, whether it's my Coors commercial with David Spade, any of my on-camera projects, I go right to craft services and order a breakfast burrito. And by the way, when I say right to, I wait for the crew to get their food because I don't want to be fat guy who came in and ate the last breakfast burrito, and then some grip is furious and he hates me. You do not want a furious grip on your hands, folks. Oh, my God. So I show up, I get my breakfast burrito, I'm sitting there waiting, and the role I'm in is I'm a heckler. I'm a Braves fan. And there will be a Dodger fan. I've talked about this on here. And but I'm still going to talk about it. Whatever. I'll bring you this anecdote and then I'll be done with it. I had to be there at 6 a.m. And that was my call time. And then they applied face paint to me because I had a red and blue face because I was a Braves fan. I think they applied the face paint after I ate the breakfast burrito. So it was like 7 o'clock. 7:30, and then they did not need me on set until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I had to sit in my trailer, and I couldn't even sleep because I had red and blue makeup on my entire face was half blue, half red. So I showed up. Folks, when you tell me that your job is hard, I laugh. I scoff at you. Next time you're sitting at your job and you've been forced to work overtime, or the boss has come in and heaped some extra work on you, or they cancel your Christmas, or they tell you that nobody's getting bonuses, when you think that your job sucks, when you think that you can't possibly take one more moment of that job, when you say that you're going to get an automatic weapon and mow down everybody in your path, you're going to go buy an AR-15 and just clean out your office building and walk out purified on the other side. When you think you've reached that level, folks, sit down, close your eyes, and think. Think of 6'2" Mike Schmidt on a 6-foot bed. With half of a red face and half of a blue face that he can't smudge. Belly full of breakfast burrito. Sitting in the air-conditioned trailer. Sitting, because I can't lay my 6'2" frame on a 6-foot bed. I tried. Oh, I tried. Big Lots Mike in his fat barrel laying on the 6-foot bed with his fucking feet in the air, trying not to smudge his makeup, and then tell me again how bad your job is. Please.
Oh my God.
What I would give to spend 10 hours in a cubicle. 10 hours in a cubicle farm under artificial light learning 10 key by touch. When I'm eating free breakfast burritos with a face full of makeup for fucking 5 hours and then having to yell at a fake Dodger fan. Oh, folks, you and your tough jobs. Whatever. Don't come to Big Lots Mike, box office poison, and tell him your troubles. Because I've been in the shit. I've lived it. I've been in the trenches. One time I was in a trailer. The air conditioning went out halfway through the day.
Oh, man.
So I had to go sit under the craft services tent and just eat free food and sit in the breeze while they fixed it. Terrible. Sure, you've got it tough at your job. Your boss is an asshole. You're doing the thing, you're not doing what you thought you'd be doing with your life. Yeah, I get that, folks. I get that. But next time that thought bubbles up in your mind, sit back and realize that Yasmine Bleeth was an ass to me. Next time you think that your job is tough, realize that I was in line at craft services and Richard Grieco, who wasn't even in the movie, cut in front of me. That motherfucker was banging Yasmine Bleeth. He wasn't even in the cast, and he got a steak before I did. Me, the guy who stands back and lets the crew eat, the good guy, the nice guy who's even in the cast. Marv Grunsky steps back in his Dallas Felons outfit, and he lets the grips and the associate producers and the fucking electricians, everybody else can go ahead and get a steak before Marv Grunsky, because I don't want to be that guy. But fucking Grieco sachets in, not even on the fucking call sheet. Just Yasmine Bleeth's arm candy, and he walks up and he gets surf and turf before yours truly, before Big Lots Mike. Are you fucking kidding me? Back of the line, Booker. Big Lots Mike eats before you every fucking day of the week. What if I was that dude? What if I really felt like that? And that's the thing. There are people in this town who are like that. When you work, you'll go and work and there'll be fucking actors and pieces of shit who act like they are better than anybody or everyone because they're on that fucking show or they're on that fucking movie cast or they're on that crew. And there are cool guys, but there are guys who are fucking jagoffs. Oh, man. Oh, back of the line, Booker. That's fucking hilarious. I'm great. All right. So... Oh, all right. So I'll tell you this. So yeah, I was in my Dallas Felons outfit. As I mentioned a million years ago, I don't know when, but wasn't I telling you about the jerseys? They made custom outfits for us because I was on the Dallas Felons. And on the Ultimate Fan League, they made a jersey, a Chicago jersey for me and my buddy Paul. And here's what I'm telling you. At the end of the run of the Ultimate Fan League, we won. We won the whole thing. And I asked them if I could keep the jersey, the Chicago jersey, and they said No. Because they may use them again in the future. And in my head, I'm just like, wait a second. Where are you going to find... First of all, if Ultimate Fan League does get picked up again, good for you. Secondly, you're going to have a Chicago team. Thirdly, you're going to have a 3XL fat guy. Like, are you casting now just to fit the suit? You're going to find the fucking trivia Johnny Bravo? Or are you just assuming that all Chicago guys are fucking 3Xs and you'll have no problem filling the suit? Because I'll tell you what, if you watch the performances of one Mike Schmidt, of one Big Lots Mike on Ultimate Fan League, you got to realize it's going to take a lot more than just fitting the suit. I quote the guy from the Philadelphia team, I hate Mike. I have those too on videotape. But I would have a YouTube treasure trove of stuff. I would have like I could probably, I don't know if I could monetize it. It's so funny. Like, I don't know what they monetize on YouTube. I'll go and I'll look at clips and there'll be that fucking ad that you can skip in 5 seconds. And then there's some that make you watch a full 30-second ad. I don't know how they run their fucking business. But if I put up a fucking clip of Rick Tocchet fighting Don Jackson from the fucking, or no, who else was there? Did Brad Stewart fight somebody? I don't know. Fuck, it's Edmonton and Philadelphia, folks. Look it up. You know who would know that? Some 3X guy from Chicago on the Ultimate Fan League. Oh, so anyway, I wanted to keep the jersey and they wouldn't let me. I was pissed. And then on fucking basketball, same deal. Like I at the end of it, and that was crazy because that was like a fucking 6X jersey. And I said to him, I go, hey, can we keep these at the end? And they strung us along the whole time going, yeah, I think so. We'll have to see what happens. And then sure enough, last day of shooting, we're like, hey, can we take our outfits? And they're just like, nope, we need them. I don't know where the fuck they went. Part of me hopes that like when a Super Bowl team loses and they send all the shitty merchandise overseas, that somewhere there's like 19 dudes in Cameroon and one 6X Dallas Felons jersey trying to avoid the warlord and his machete. Trying to avoid the business end of a bullwhip from some fucking border guard. Actually, you know what? That might be perfect. They could sneak like fucking 16 dudes out of the country underneath that jersey. It's a big commodity. I apologize to the studio. That obviously is what they were trying to do. They've sent it over as some sort of tarp or tent for the Peace Corps, and all these people from Cameroon are hiding under it and sneaking out across the border to the other country where there is no civil war. Which, by the way, there is no country that is not in civil war in Africa, right? Isn't the whole place a civil war? And boy, if you're going to learn about that, isn't the place you're going to go a comedy podcast, folks? Right? That's where you get all your African Civil War information, is from fucking Big Lots Mike jackass babbling on a goddamn podcast. Come on, Africa, head in the game. Fucking snap out of your Civil War and get with the rest of the world. The rest of us, look at us, we're all getting along, but look at you. Look at your young men fighting, Africa. Look at your women crying. Look at your young men dying the way they've always done before, Africa. All right. The jersey? Where were we? I don't even know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I didn't do a show last week. We're ready for this. We were ready for one of these, right? Where I just fucking talk about nothing. You know who wasn't ready for this? Max, because I have artwork already and I'm supposed to make it work, and I have not done anything toward that yet.
Oh, there's time.
There's plenty of time. Sure there is. There's always time, folks. I'm confident that I'll make that work, and I know you hate me for it. Hate me for my confidence, folks, because confidence is overrated. You shouldn't have it. Nobody should have it. Because you have confidence, you know what that leads to, folks? It leads to you having a black and white photo of yourself on the wall of the bank. Nobody wants that kind of confidence. You're just a fucking douchebag at that point. Don't be that confident that you're willing to put your fucking headshot on the wall of the bank as people are putting their money away to, hey, put my money to sleep in its money bed. Oh, look, I know that guy from ER. Fuck that. Take it down. Take it fucking down. I am in trouble at home, folks.
Hello, constituent. I'm Representative Richard Martin, and after a long day of gerrymandering, I like to unwind with the 40-year-old boy on the Mike Schmidt Podcasting Network. Schmidt's a German name, right? Such a strong, pure people.
Ladies and gentlemen, with a phrase from the past of the 40-year-old boy, please welcome Elvis Costello.
My lawn, get off my lawn.
Hi, I'm Paul Gilmartin. For the most part, I've cleaned up my act, but the only substance I can't quit abusing is the 40-year-old boy on the Mike Schmidt Podcasting Network. Do you know the street value of nonsense? It's nearly as expensive as tomfoolery.
That was our friend Paul Gilmartin you heard there in that break. I don't know what else was there, but I know Paul Gilmartin was one of them. He may have been two. I may use two Paul Gilmartin bumps there. I haven't figured it out yet. I have to talk to Lily about it after the show. We don't pick the breaks until afterwards. Just because I think I'm done when the show's over, and Lily thinks I'm done. She's like, get the fuck out of my house. So I'm packing stuff, and I'll get to the door, and she's like, you didn't pick the breaks. And I'm like, fuck. So I'll have to come back to her computer and pick them, because, again, I know you think that I just don't care, but I meticulously care about everything. So I will sit with Lily and I'll make her play certain things, and she's very nice about it. But then when I leave, I'm sure she makes faces at me behind the door like you did when you were in 5th grade. Why wouldn't you? I don't know. In 5th grade, were you getting locked behind a lot of doors and making a lot of faces? That seems like a weird time-specific way to say in 5th grade you made faces at people behind doors. I still do it now. Anyway, all right. So, folks, that was Paul Gilmartin. I used Paul today because it's his birthday. I think his birthday's today. Did Facebook tell me that? I don't know. I haven't talked to Paul in a couple of weeks because Paul has been very busy toiling in the sadness mines the past couple of years for his podcast, the Mental Illness Happy Hour, which I did. I was a guest on that. You can go ahead and find it. And it's funny. I didn't know when I did the show, but then Paul started to put out surveys for the best show of 2012, and he wanted people to vote on the best show of 2012, I think it was, and he would keep posting the voting, and I was never in it, and I'm like, why the fuck would nobody vote for me for the best show? Come on, I was actually okay on that show. I was funny, and I admitted horrible shit. Why not? That's a perfect combination for that show, to be funny and entertaining and admit a bunch of bad garbage. Oh my God, that's awesome. You are the ideal guest for the Mental Illness Happy Hour. You were entertaining and engaging, and horrible things happened to you in the past. And Paul was able to get them out of you in a charming way. Perfect. So Paul is very busy toiling on Depression Mountain, but it's his birthday, so go wish him a happy birthday on his Facebook page if you know him, or even if you don't. And if you don't know him, just go say, Mike Schmidt said to say happy birthday to you. Don't mention that I said Depression Mountain or toiling in the sadness mines. He may not enjoy that. But actually he would, because he has a very good sense of humor. But it's his birthday, so go wish happy birthday to Paul Gilmartin. Hey, by the way, talking about birthdays, folks, and it's so funny. When I was an MC in comedy clubs, the worst thing in the world would be when they came up to you and they said, there's birthdays. Because Lily, she gets to deal with birthdays at her Monday Night Tease show by bringing the people up on stage and pulling off their clothes and spanking their ass, which is fucking great. That would be awesome. If you could do that in public all the time, that'd be fantastic. But she'll get girls up there and pull their skirts up, and so everybody gets to see their asses, spanking guys, whatever the fuck. Girls are climbing all over them. Fantastic. Comedy club birthday, however, you have to mention the birthday, and the table claps because nobody else in the room gives a fuck about you or your birthday, because we're adults, okay? You're not in 5th grade. There's no piñata. There's no fucking cake. Nobody's going to get to hit a midget with a stick. It's just your fucking birthday, and you got another year closer to death. That's it. If you're an adult and you're marking birthdays in a public place, and I say this fully as a man who is marking his birthdays in public places... I went to a sushi restaurant this year and they sang to me. I didn't ask for it. My wife made them do it, but I wasn't embarrassed by it. I embraced it. It's fine. If it's going to happen, it happens. But when you actually... See, because on the other side of the coin, it's bad. That's why I don't want to make people come over and sing to me for my birthday. If you want to bring me a nice birthday thing and say, hey, here you go, that's fine. You don't have to sing. That's my gift to you on my birthday. Your gift to me is a flourless chocolate cake with a strawberry with a candle in it. Good for you. My gift to you, don't fucking sing. Leave quietly. Skulk away from the table after dropping off my free dessert. You don't have to sing to me. I'm a grown man. I don't need that. Unless you want it, I guess. I mean, if you own it. Because at Lily's place, again, if you could bend me over and spank me, that's fucking perfect. That's great. Then you're on board for it. But fucking singing, it's just silly. And in a comedy club, it's even worse, because as the MC, you have to say there's a birthday. And again, like I said, one table claps because nobody else gives a fuck about you at all. And then I'm supposed to engage you in some sort of chit chat when I don't care about you or anything that you have going on in your life at all. Nothing. Because you know why? Because I've already decided you're a dick, because you're the kind of person who would make me bring up your birthday in a crowded room of strangers. If you go out for your birthday and you want the announcements that your birthday is that day, you've already established yourself as a cock because you are willing to impose your birthday on a bunch of fucking strangers who don't care at all. We've judged you. We know everything there is to know about you just by the fact that you want your birthday acknowledged in a crowded room at the age of 35. Jesus Christ, grow out of it. That said, it's Paul Gilmartin's birthday, so go ahead over to Paul's page. And I also mentioned it, like I said, because as an MC, they would come to you and they'd say, hey, it's a birthday, man. You should say happy birthday to people. And I didn't want to do it. But I don't mind doing it sometimes now, particularly in the case of, like I said, our friend Paul Gilmartin. And also in the case of my friend Andy. Andy is a listener of the show. He's one of our internet chums. I don't want to say his last name. Like he said, should I say his last name? I don't know if I should. Really? Well, no, because isn't it better if I just say Andy? Because now, whatever Andy, it's whose birthday it is, they are like, yay! They think I'm talking about them. Isn't it great to leave it as the generic Andy? So then any Andy whose birthday it is can revel in this and think it's about them, right? I don't want to specify by saying a last name. And plus, as I've mentioned before, there are listeners to the show who don't want me to say their names. They actually specifically say, do not use my name if you're going to mention this, because they know that Hollywood is listening and Big Lots Mike is killing his own prospects of getting a job. He's definitely going to hurt yours. So Andy, how about this? Andy H. We'll say that, because here's the note I got from Andy H. today. He said, hey, Mike, my birthday is January 10th, Thursday morning. There are two things that I want. One, a brand new comedy show from my favorite comedian and podcaster in the world, Mike Schmidt, host of The 40-Year-Old Boy. And two, a peanut butter cake made by my wife. Aww. I know you can control one of those things, so I'm hoping that I wake up in the morning and find out that one of them is definitely taken care of. And then I think he wrote something like, as most people do, it's so funny. He wrote something about being broke. Like, he's like, yeah, I'm broke. So it was almost like, that's why I want this shit for my birthday. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I read it. He's like, I have no money, so guess what? The only piece of shit I want for my birthday is your stupid comedy show and my wife to make a peanut butter cake. Because I can twist anything around. And you know what I'm finding out? You know who else can read an email and completely miss the mark, completely not understand what is said, completely read it and alienate themselves? That would be my wife. I'm in trouble at home, folks. It has nothing to do with emails or notes, but my wife will read me. She'll say, hey, I got a text from this person, and she'll read me the text. And I'm not joking. I wish I could, you know what? Here, I'll just grab this, okay? Something with text. This is the burlesque. All right, I'm just reading you a burlesque flyer that I just grabbed. But this is the way Karen will read it. She'll go, oh, I can't believe I just got this text. Listen to this. Open bar all night. Burlesque shows on the hour. Shows start at 9 p.m. at twitter.com MNTs. Can you believe she wrote that? And I'll go, why are you reading it like she hates you? This is your friend who wants to meet you for lunch. Yeah, but you heard that. Like, look at the way she wrote that. She didn't write it that way. You read it that way. And it's so funny. It's like holding up a mirror to me, because I do that with every email, every text, everything I get, to the point where Mex sent me something this week, and I called him and I go, hey, are we cool? And he goes, what? And I go, I just got your email. Did I piss you off? What did I do? And he goes, no, I was writing you the specs. And I go, oh, because it read kind of dry. And he goes, well, am I supposed to be funny in every email to you? No, I guess not. But at the same time, when I read it, because we had been going back and forth on a certain issue, and then finally I kind of had some finality to what I had written to him, and I didn't want to look like a boss giving orders. So when he wrote me back and he's like, fine, I will work on this, I will work on this, and I'll work on this. And I'm like, oh shit, I kind of made him mad. So then when I wrote him, I called him back and he's like, dude, I don't know what you're talking about. So, but even worse is my wife. My wife might be worse. Like, cause she reads texts, she'll read texts from me out loud. And I'm like, I didn't write that mean at all. Like, I was being very nice. But everything, I mean, every letter, every email, by the way, letter. Yes, she gets a lot of letters with the king's wax stamp at the end. Anything my wife gets, any correspondence my wife gets, she will twist into fucking something bad. And I mean, that's not good. I can tell you that doesn't bode well for the future. I can tell you that, but whatever, who cares? But it's Andy H's birthday. So, and he sent me that email where he's like, yeah, fuck you and your dumb comedy show and whatever, my peanut butter cake, idiot. So good, Andy H, happy birthday to you, I say. Because the show I was going to do last week, you know, I have a lot of thank yous to dispense to you guys, and I can write you, but that would mean a whole lot of sitting down and writing. Fuck all that. That's crazy. And I will. probably do that. But here's the thing. Another reason why I'm so behind in emails, all right? Here's how I paralyze myself, and I've told you this before. First of all, I know no matter what I write, you're going to read it bad. You're going to read it in a mean way, as we've established. But also, I have to think of the paragraph up top. Here's why all of my emails have to be longer now, because I have to write you back, and I have to include the paragraph, including why I'm so late and far behind in my email. And so in my head, I get this weird pressure where I put it on myself and I go, well, fuck, you got to tell them you're sorry for being late and acknowledge all of that up top and then answer their email. But I mean, I guess really I don't have to do that. But yes, I do, because some of these emails are from fucking October, you know what I mean? And September and March of last year. You're making a face, like a big wide face. I'm not kidding you. I'm behind, man. I caught way up and then I fell behind again. So now I got to just go ahead and dig out. And I've answered piecemeal some people's stuff that is important or stuff that really comes through. And I look, not that your stuff's not important. Time sensitive is the word I was using. Okay. But then there's some stuff that I missed that was time sensitive. And then I have to write those people back and go, fuck, I missed this. But you guys have been so cool and you reached out, like, you know, when the shit hit the fan with my job, a lot of you stepped up and you donated money, which was really cool. And you sent me stuff, or you just sent me notes to say thanks or good luck or whatever. And, you know, people like our friend Brendan Z. See, this is stupid to not say last names. Brendan is a photographer who, I don't know if I mentioned this in Toronto. He showed up and he's like, I'd like to take some photos of you, and then you could just have them. And so he took me outside, and there was the marquee for the comedy bar, and then he took pictures of me out in the street in Toronto with like traffic behind me, and they're great pictures. They're really cool. And he sent me some of them. And but I will say this, he took like 90. Okay. And then he sent me, I think, 8. He's like, there you go. And I in my mind, I'm like, how shitty do I look in the others that I couldn't get a look at them? Or does he have them somewhere in some, like, you know, the reject pile, or are those the ones he sends to people and go, this is how you don't take a photograph? I mean, I have no idea. Don't have this fat idiot look at Big Lots Mike in the street. You don't want to fucking deal with that. And they're cool pictures because they're at night with like a sepia tone. And there's, like I said, there's traffic behind me, and one has the marquee right behind me. And I haven't used them. I don't think I haven't put them on Facebook. I haven't used them for anything. He wrote me to tell me that if I wanted to, I could use them for the CD that I'm recording. I don't know if I'm going to yet, because, you know, I got to talk to Max. Max is designing all that. But I wanted to thank Brendan on here. Brendan Zwelling. I'll just say his name. Brendan Zwelling. I don't know if he works as a photographer as well, but he was in Toronto and he took the photos. And I will tell you this. Here's another reason. This is true. He took the photos and he sent them to me, and they're great. And I really, really liked them. There's 2 in particular I really like, but I can't use them. Normally I would post stuff on Facebook or on my website. Or I'm just going to tell you this. Coincidentally, my brother, Lenny, who's a comedian, did a photo shoot at night in Chicago.
Oh, please.
On the street. And they're the exact same pictures. Like, they're sepia toned at night in traffic, like on the street at landmarks in the city. So it would totally look like I raped it and just fucking ripped it off. I know it looks ridiculous. Lily shaking her head. Apparently she feels that's good to do to me in the middle of the show, is make me feel stupid, but good for her. But I can't use it because it looks completely like I just stole the idea and did it in a different city. It's crazy. I know you think I'm nuts, but, and his pictures look fucking amazing too. They look really good, and he got them up first. Once they're up first, nothing you can do about it. Cause I'll tell you this is funny. You know how I do the podcast of the Caribbean, and we did the Lord of the Schmidt set. Well, we always thought for year 4, at least I always thought for year 4, it was going to be the Kiss solo albums. Like, it was going to be, you know, me with the different makeup, and, you know, just like the 4 different solo albums, and it was going to be that theme. And then Never Not Funny did their Kiss Rock and Roll Over shirt. And I went, I can never do the Kiss imagery ever, because all you're doing is raping what they did, and they did it first. Once somebody does it and does it first, you back off. You can't take it. That's how and it's funny. Maybe it's just a comedian's mindset, where that's one of the reasons why I don't like to go see comedy, because if anybody talks about something and I go, fuck, I had a bit on that, or I was thinking the same lines, then I want to abandon the entire thing. I know I'm a crazy person. I know. Because I talk about stuff on here all the time, and I tell you I don't listen to the show because once I say it, it's over and it's gone. When that's stupid, what I should be doing is honing this stuff and bringing it to a stage and doing it for stand-up. But who the fuck wants to hear about Big Lots Mike on a stand-up stage? Nobody, right? Once I start talking about Big Lots Mike rummaging in a fucking dirty bin, and everybody's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Boo. By the way, I love Boo. I've talked on here about how much I love Boo, right? I have to talk about this just before I left my house. In my Facebook stream, I guess I don't watch Game of Thrones. I should be watching it, I know, but I fell behind and then I didn't get to watch it, and then that's that. I can't just jump in the middle and go, who's this midget and why is he mad? So I have to watch it from the beginning, which means I have to get it on DVD and whatever the fuck, who cares? So, on my stream on Facebook, in my Facebook feed, I guess one of the actors from Game of Thrones has cancer. He has terminal pancreatic cancer. And, I just see somebody posts the story on Facebook. And it was Brennan, a guy named Brennan. I don't want to say his full name. But Brennan just puts the picture up of the guy. It's a link to the news story. And Brennan's comment on it was, boo. Really, Brennan? That's what you mustered up and brought to the table when you found out an actor from your show was getting to die? He's refusing chemotherapy. Literally, there's this gracious note from his agent talking about how he won't have chemotherapy and, please keep your thoughts with him. And literally, Brennan thought he could defeat terminal pancreatic cancer with boo. And you know what? Honestly, to Brennan's credit, he had like 8 O's in the boo. So, maybe that made it extra powerful and it was more of a cancer fighting boo with more O's. But it made me laugh before I left my house. Literally, just before I left, I went to turn off my computer and I saw boo. Boo, cancer. All right. So you guys all, like I said, everybody stepped up and they were very nice. I mentioned Brendan took photos of me in Toronto. Bob Lemon, our friend Bob Lemon, who I may have mentioned on here, took photos of me in St. Louis. And then he sent me the photos. Now, he did the thing that Brendan did not do. He sent me 80 photos from St. Louis, and I look awful in 79 of them. Because I'm a fat dude in shadows. So he took like good pictures, but then it's just me looking ridiculous. And I'm like, yay, Bob, thanks for these photos. I can't wait to virtually burn them in my virtual fireplace on my virtual computer. But I have them all. I saved them. And he put the best one. It was funny. He put one on Facebook and it looked amazing. It was a great picture. And I'm like, God, I love that fucking picture. And then he sent me the rest and I went, oh my God, no wonder he put that one on Facebook. And the rest of these, I look like a fucking night goblin. It's fucking terrible. So I want to thank Bob Lemon and Brendan Zwelling, who've taken photos of me at different shows and then told me that I could use them. Here's something I'll bring up. There's a friend of the show. His name is Oliver Rechbein. I've talked about Oliver, right? He's in Germany. And then he came here and I met him and his lovely girlfriend, Pia, I think. God, I hope so. And we went out, the two of them, and then me and Karen. Back when I was not in trouble at home. I should just tell that story, right? Should I get out of the way?
Oh no, keep going.
I keep forgetting it, and then, but Oliver, he makes fun of me because of the way I pronounce his name. It's Rechbein or Rabien. Let's go with Rabien. I don't know what the fuck. He's German, so there's got to be a in there somewhere, right? Oliver Rechbein. So he wrote me and said, hey, could I buy the Podcast of the Caribbean set for a friend of mine and have you mail it to them? And I, of course, said no, because I don't work like that, folks. I said, fuck yeah, immediately, yes. Pay, I'll send it to whoever. I'll send it to you 9 times. I don't give a shit. Buy it. So he bought it, and he said he wanted to buy it for his friend, who he got hooked on the show in year 3 or year 4. I can't remember when. And he wanted the guy to hear all the early shows. And he said that the guy loves the fact that I fuck up Oliver's name constantly. And so he actually calls Oliver by what I call Oliver, just to be stupid. And he's like, so, what would be great is if I went ahead and bought this, but and he can download it and keep it, and you can just email it to him. He goes, and do me a favor, say his name. So.
Oh no.
So, Tassilo Renneker, from fucking Mars. I don't know where you get that stupid name. No offense, Tassilo. Stupid seems strong. But Tassilo? Rineker. It's an R-I, so it's Rineker, not Reneker. Or Reneker. Reinecker. You think it's Reinecker? Like Oliver Reckbein? It's just terrible, right? Tassilo, which is a ham in America. I don't know if you're aware of that, Tassilo. We make a nice red-eye gravy with a Tassilo ham and shrimp and grits. Oh, delicious. Tassilo. Yes, I know it's Tasso. Shut the fuck up, Galvin. All right. Tassilo Rineker. I don't know why you keep making fun of me. And then Then I wrote Tassilo on because I didn't want him just to get the download set and go, what's this suspicious link from some weirdo? So I wrote him a note and I said, Merry Christmas from Oliver Reckbein and the 40-year-old boy. And I said, hey, your friend Oliver said that you would enjoy this, so I'm going ahead and send it to you. And if you don't enjoy it, hash it out with him. It's not my fault. So he then wrote me a nice note. And he said, absolutely, I've been hooked on your show since whenever Oliver got me to listen to it. My favorite part is the fact that you can't say Oliver's name correctly. Like, he doesn't know that Oliver told me to fucking say his stupid name. It's not stupid. It seems strong. How mean is that? Just because you're named after a ham, an American ham. So he wrote a really nice note, and he's like, yeah, I've been hooked on it. And, Oliver, my favorite part is that you can't say his name. It's so hilarious. But thank you so much. I do love the show, and thank you for sending that along. And then he proceeded to never download the links. Doesn't want it, doesn't care about it. Because I went today and checked, and he's like, thank you. He wrote a very gracious note thanking me, and then did not download it at all. So Oliver Reckbein, if you want a refund or you want to hit up fucking Tassilo Ham fucking Rineker for his share, or maybe you just share. He may have, Oliver may have shared his download set with him, or I have no idea. But he didn't download it at all. Could not have been less interested. He just went, yeah, hey man, that's so nice. Thank you so much, and please keep making fun of Oliver. No download at all. Delete. And it's funny, I because I mentioned, Bob and Brendan, who took photos of me, and our friend Rob Matsushita, who had me on Chapel, which is his show on YouTube. You can go look up Chapel, and it's chapeltheseries.com, I think. I don't know. But, Rob taped me in Green Bay. It's funny, I'm doing the CD, but Rob videotaped me in Green Bay, and then he mailed it to me, which was really nice. I've never opened the envelope. Because I have no use for it, because I did the show and it's over with, and there's nothing to be learned from seeing it. There's nothing to be gained. Lily says there is, but it's just a thing I have to get past. Like I don't want to hear my work. I don't need to hear my work. I know what my work is. I'm me. I live with me all the time. I know what's gone in my fucking head. So what's the point? But there is a point. I need to review it and hone it and make it work. And that's one of the reasons why I'm doing these live dates, where I'm going to Chicago. I'm going to be in Detroit. I didn't get to mention that on here. I'll mention it later, but well, fuck it. I'll mention it now. I booked a show in Detroit, folks. We got business in Detroit, March 9th. And it's not really technically Detroit. It's Mount Clemens, Michigan, which is about a half hour outside of Detroit, because I went and did some research, and it turns out if a bullet is fired in Detroit, it will travel a half hour before it actually just peters out and falls to the ground. So I can't die on this trip, and that's good news. Because I know your whole town is a bullet festival. I tried to schedule it as far away as I possibly could. Like literally, there was Bring Mike to Detroit. I was going to schedule a show in fucking like Wisconsin and called it the Detroit page. Hey, I'm in Madison, Wisconsin for the Detroit page. So I don't die. Because I don't want to show up and get off the plane and have to be defended by a cyborg police officer with Peter Weller's face. That's right, Detroit. It's your move, creep. Buy tickets. So I booked this show in Detroit, and there's a friend of the show named Pop-Tarts Dalton, who came to see me in Indianapolis. I mentioned Pop-Tarts, that she rode with our friend Derek Leitner, who's another internet chum. And Derek and Pop-Tarts rode together from Detroit, and they didn't know one another. I've mentioned that on here. But Pop-Tarts wanted me to come to Detroit, so now I booked the Detroit show, and because when I booked the Chicago show, Pop-Tarts wrote me on Twitter or Facebook. I don't know what it was, but it looked like this hastily written ransom note almost. And all it said was, I'm fat, I love meatballs, you're a fucking genius. Like it was because I had talked about meatballs that week on the show. And so I wrote her, I'm like, that's great. Now where's my fucking meatball? I think I wrote back because I'm very clever. And then I announced the Chicago show, and she just wrote, Google spaghetti and meatball cake for Chicago. So I don't know if that means she's going to make one, or if I'm now, like, I have to make one for her, or I have to just hope for one. I don't know. But that's what she wrote. And then I booked the Detroit show, and she wrote me an email, not on Facebook or Twitter, and it just an email. All it said was Detroit show. And I opened it, and it just said, for food. And it had like 3 restaurants that I have to go to. And it said there's like a Middle Eastern food market too that I have to go to. And then she said there's some restaurant that I should never go to, even though people will tell me that I have to go to it. And then at the end of it, she wrote, strip clubs? I'm not sure. Probably should just go to downtown Detroit. No. Which leads me to believe that Pop-Tarts is trying to get me murdered somehow. And again, I could think of much worse ways to go out than with a face full of tits, obviously. But what made me laugh was that Pop-Tarts is a woman, and she was going to make me a cake, and she was like, I'm a big fan. And then that she even made the effort to tell me about strip clubs made me laugh. I'm just like, is that the image I've given you all, that when I come to town, I need to know where the good restaurants are and where the good strip clubs are? To the point where even a female listener will go, all right, well, I got to find a strip club for this guy. Absolutely. So thanks, Pop-Tarts. I don't know if I will go to downtown Detroit and die, but good. I appreciate you. Good looking out. I'm in Charlotte at home, folks. Fuck, I'll just tell you this story. Because it's not even that big a deal. I'm building it up, but it was just. But it's you know what? I don't think it's that big a deal, but I can tell you there's somebody else who lives at my house who thinks it's a big deal. Yesterday, we were having the annual, hey, what do you want to eat conversation. And by annual, I mean fucking daily, and sometimes twice a goddamn day. I mean, I don't understand it. And the thing is, she'll ask me, and I think she just wants me to make a fucking decision and decide what we're going to eat. And then when I'll show any indecision whatsoever, she kind of goes off on a tangent and mentions 9 different places. And it's like, dude, what the fuck? I don't give a fuck. If something happens by the front door, I'll kill it and eat it. I don't care. So yesterday I'm in the house, and she's like, what do you want to eat? And I said, I don't know. I said, I'd like to go to Hyatt's. Because they make this chicken that I like. Hey, whatever. I told you I like Mediterranean food. You know who knows that? Pop-Tarts. She told me 9 Mediterranean places in Detroit to go to. Maybe I'll get shot in those places too. She's plotting my demise, folks. So I said to Karen, I go, look, Hyatt, because literally whenever we have this discussion, by the way, I've said literally a fucking 1,000 times in this show. Literally 1,000. So whenever we had a discussion about what we're going to eat, I always say Hyatt's because I would eat there every fucking day. I've told you this story 1,000,000 times. So I say that, and then Karen gets all sad and makes a face because she's 5 fucking years old. And I go, well, look, wherever you want to go, pick a place. It's fine. So she was kind of deciding, and she wasn't sure, and she was thinking, and I said, look, there's food in the house. Why don't we just eat the food in the house? No, can't eat the food in the house because it's old food. You know, it's funny. You know how I say that I don't ever want to hear my work? I don't want to listen to my show, and when something's gone, it's gone. That's how my wife feels about a meal. Whatever we eat, if there's any of it left, she throws it away. She just scrapes it into the garbage. I'm like, what the fuck? We could have gotten like another meal or 2 out of that. Nah, it's old. The worst is when we'll eat and then she leaves food out on the countertop and then like at 2 a.m, I'll go out and I look and I go, why didn't you put the chicken away? Well, I just throw it away. What do you mean throw it away? It's a whole other meal of chicken. What the fuck? She lives like she's rich, and I wish we were. Fuck, if I was rich, I wouldn't wear the same clothes 2 days in a row. I would wear clothes and then throw them away and put new clothes on the next fucking day. I wouldn't give a shit. That'd be fine. I'd be the worst rich guy in the world. I just saw a story on the internet about a guy who made a gold shirt. I'm like, you know what's bad about that? You gotta wear that gold shirt again. Make 100 gold shirts and impress me, motherfucker. I don't care about one gold shirt. Oh man, I made the goldest shirt of all gold shirts. Well, fuck you, stupid. You got one shirt now. Every time we see it, I go, fuck, here comes that idiot with the gold shirt. And then he put fucking Swarovski crystals as the buttons. Crystals? What am I, Popeye? What the fuck was that? Hey, Swarovski crystals. Jesus, that was terrible. I can't even talk. I'm so mad at this idiot with the gold shirt. I can't. I'm Lawrence Tierney in Reservoir Dogs. So mad at you motherfuckers, I can't even talk. Let's go to Woik. So this idiot with the gold shirt, and then the buttons are Swarovski crystals. Literally, this guy's from. Stop saying literally. Now it's literally 1,001 times. No, now 1,002. But this guy's like Pakistani, or he lives in India, or he's in India. I don't know what the fuck he is. Whoever, you know what? You know where he lives? Somewhere they think one gold shirt is impressive. That's it. And they're like, don't you think somebody will steal the shirt? And he's like, no, I have bodyguards. But how bad does he stink in that shirt? There's no way that gold it breathes. There's no way. It's the first white trash Pakistani I've ever seen in my entire life. So he has the gold shirt and the Swarovski crystal buttons. Like, it's almost like he had nothing left. Like he had no money left over and went, hey, don't you got to button this up? But let's be honest. If you got a gold shirt on, why the fuck are you buttoning the thing? Everybody knows you're a douchebag already. You might as well go bare chest. Go Butch Lewis with the motherfucker. Why not? All right. How did I get off on gold shirt guy? I don't know. So Karen and I are talking. And, what happened? Oh, are you Googling the gold shirt, dude? I know it is. It's terrible, right? But even worse, like I said, he's got one. Impresses nobody, gold shirt. All right. By the way, worst Bond villain in the history of the series. Gold shirt. All right, so we're in the house having the conversation about what we should do. And I was like, hi, it's Kitchen. She said no. So she came up with like an alternate choice, and I was like, I said there was a Chinese joint by our house that I wanted, and coincidentally, golden chopsticks. Now those would impress me. If I'm rich, you know what I do? Fuck a gold shirt. I actually get golden chopsticks, and they're in a case, and I bring them whenever I go to a sushi restaurant. How great would that be? Because there's so many restaurants called golden chopsticks. I think I ate a golden chopsticks the night my godson was born. That was, dude. Is there anything worse than making plans for a night in with a ton of food and then it goes south because somebody has a baby? I was watching, are you with me? Come on, that was funny. Now I really lost you. You're reading the gold shirt bullshit, aren't you? Yeah, that was funny. Literally, that is the funniest line you never laughed at. I'm not going to lie to you folks. That is the funniest line Lily never laughed at. I expected to laugh. Go back, rewind it. Listen to me pause. Take your iPod vagina and plug it in and listen to me pause waiting for the fucking laugh there. That's fine. Enjoy yourself. Read the web. No, that's cool. That's fine. Go ahead. Check out. Read the web. Last week you were sick. I gave you a break, gave you the week off. Now this week I need you present and accounted for, and you dive into a gold shirt. Yes, it's terrible.
I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Know about it.
I didn't know. You're funny. You're like, thank you for bringing this information to me.
Horrible.
All right. Is there a burlesque dancer named you didn't, god damn it, I wanted you to say Swarovski Crystal is going to know gold shirt. Damn it.
No. Oh, Crystal Swarovski.
Yeah. I wanted you to see. This is the problem with doing Abbott and Costello, but not letting Costello in on the routine at all. Imagine who's on first if Costello had no idea where it was going. I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? What are you talking about? Ah, fuck, cancel it. Big hook comes out from the side, pulls me and Lily off. All right. And here, you know what's funny? I don't even remember what that line was. I know it was fucking hysterical, but I don't even remember what it was. Rewind it and go listen to it again. It was great. So we're at the house and we're talking, and I said I wanted to have Hyatt's. She said no. And I said golden chopsticks. That was what I was talking about. I wanted to have the golden chopsticks. Whatever the fuck, who cares? No one cares. But yeah, literally, Mex and I, God, fuck, literally. Mex and I are at his house, and we were going to play Sega all night and eat Chinese food, and we ordered a ton of Chinese food, and then his wife went into labor, and then they had to go have a baby. So I was stuck at home with fucking egg rolls. You better make me the godfather at that point. That's the only reason he made me the godfather. That's the only reason I'm Val's godfather is because my egg rolls got cold. That's the only reason I was made the godfather of my godson Val. All right. So we're in the house, and Karen, as we're talking about food, and then she comes out of nowhere. We have a barbecue joint that we like to go to called Uncle Andre's. I think I may have talked about it on here before. Because Uncle Andre's, here's the thing about Uncle Andre's, they have the worst service in history. Like they are so slow. Their food is really good. It's like soul food and barbecue, and it's delicious food, but it takes them a day to make it. Like, I mean, it's just, they have Fridays, they make homemade gumbo from scratch. It's the only day they make it. And you've got to get it before it sells out. It's fucking so good. But you can place an order at noon and then go by around 10 when they close, and it's still not cooked. So, and it burned them because when Monique won the Oscar, she then did Oprah. Did I talk about this on here? Galvin, tell me. When they did, I I should just patch Galvin in from now on so he could actually sit here with us. No, talked about it, covered it. Monique won the Oscar, and then she did the after show with Oprah. And they asked her about it, and she said, "Oh my God, I can't wait to go to Uncle Andre's. That's the main thing I want to do." And she's like, "What do you mean?" She goes, "It's a soul food place." And I think she gave the address, and she's like, "Their food is so unbelievable. I can't explain to you how good it is. I can't. That's where I went right after I won my Oscar, was Uncle Andre's." And Karen was like, oh, she freaked out. Mike, she called me. She didn't call me Mike. Michael, get in here. So I went in, and she showed it to me, and I was like, that's it. They're going to be huge because it's a storefront. It's literally, it might have 10 seats, but it's a storefront joint, mainly takeout. And you can go there and eat lunch and whatever the fuck, but it's really good food and mainly takeout, but it takes so long to get it. And she plugged them on the national Oprah show after the Oscars, talking about and Karen freaked out. I freaked out. And I said, "This is it. I go, fuck, if it took forever to get your food before, you're never going to get your food now." And they did. They got this huge upswing in business, but they fucked it up because they had hired the wrong people. It's the typical, like, I wish they would bring me in. I don't even want to be brought in as a partner, but the two guys who run it are so great. They're amazing cooks, and they have great ideas. And there is actually an Uncle Andre who's like an old man who walks in. What does that mean, an old man who walks in? But he's there. He's lurking. So, but I want them... Like, I want to go, dude, let me renovate your front of the house. Let me bring in cashiers and phone people who will promote, and that, you can flyer, and it'll be, because they blew the chance. Like, Monique plugged them, and now they're just back to being them because they didn't capitalize on it. They didn't seize it. Because I go, well, dude, they'll fucking order. They can do catering now. They can order a whole new joint. And maybe they're not ready for that. And why the fuck am I deconstructing this restaurant's problems for you guys? You don't care. You have no interest in that whatsoever. But it plays a part in why I'm in trouble at home. Because Karen, they kind of know us. So we'll go in there, and here's the thing. They kind of know us because we've been going there a long time, and they know us on site to say hello. The guys who run it are Marcus and Joe, and they recognize us. They go, "Hey, what's going on?" And they're really friendly and nice. But I'm a weird person. So I feel whenever I go anywhere and somebody recognizes me in an establishment, they don't really recognize me. They're saying hello, and they kind of recognize who I am, but they're being polite because they recognize me maybe as a regular, or there is a glimmer of, hey, I know that guy's been in here before, so they'll say hi and be friendly. I don't think we're buddies. I don't think we're friends. I don't think if I showed up at closing time and said, "Hey, fellas," they'd go, "Hey, Mike," and pile into my car, and we'd go have a beer. They don't know that. They know that they make me red beans and rice, and that's it. My wife, on the other hand, seems to think that anyone who knows us because we're regulars is willing to stop the world to take care of us no matter what we need. And that drives me fucking crazy because they run a business, all right? They run a business. They don't know us. We're not regulars. We shouldn't get any special treatment. There's a line. There's a time to wait. And she doesn't abuse the privilege a ton at all. At all. She doesn't abuse it. Just the very fact that she thinks we have that privilege drives me fucking crazy. The only place we have it is at our sushi joint at Katsuya. Because we'll walk in, they know us. Like, literally, they know. They'll say, "Hi, Mike," when I go up to the thing, and they'll see us. The chef knows us. Everybody knows us there. But at these other joints, while they may recognize us, they don't know us. Does that make sense? I'm weird anyway. As I mentioned, I don't like confidence. And I don't want anybody to think that I think I'm better than anyone ever. So just the presumption of being known or being special or singled out drives me crazy. So the last time we went to Uncle Andre's, Karen went and picked up the food, brought it home. And I was here, I think, recording, and I showed up and it was there, and we ate. They make the best fried chicken I've ever had in my life. It's real peppery. It's good. So I started to eat the chicken, and it was off. There was something about it. Didn't taste right. The breading didn't. It wasn't sour or bad or like food poisoning bad. It just wasn't as good as it usually is. And so Karen said, as we were eating, she looked at me and she goes, "This chicken is wrong," which made me laugh. Just the very phrase that the chicken is wrong. I mean, it's different, or it might not be as good as it usually is. And it made me, was the chicken asking questions that I didn't hear? Was there something? This chicken is wrong. So I said, what do you mean? And she goes, it tastes off, right? I go, yeah. I go, it's like there's no pepper in the breading. It's not seasoned. I go, something's up. So it should end there, right? Shouldn't it just end there where you just go, well, this is a place where we're regulars and we've eaten there a million times, and maybe sometimes the chicken escapes the kitchen unseasoned. Well, not if you're Karen Reeder. Karen goes, I'm going to call them. I go, why? She goes, I'm going to call them because they need to know that this happened. What if all day the chicken was bad? Someone needs to tell them. I go, no, nobody needs to. She goes, well, then people won't come back and they won't eat there. And I go, well, they're not going to save the previous customer base. I mean, it's not like you're going to contact everybody who ordered chicken tonight. You're not really going to call them, right? She's like, no, I'm going to call them and tell them that, they want to know that. No, they don't. They don't. They're not sitting in the restaurant going, oh, I hope somebody calls and tells us our chicken is wrong. Whatever that means. Part of me actually wanted her to call just to say that. Hey, your chicken is wrong. What? Is it on Jeopardy? Is our chicken on Jeopardy? I wasn't. Did it insult you? Did it racially insult you? Is it uttering slurs? This chicken is wrong. See, it all depends on how you say it. That works for me. If you were to say that, if you're to go, man, this chicken is wrong, that means he's like, that's a badass chicken who isn't afraid to say anything to anybody. And that chicken I can get on board with. But if you just say this chicken is wrong, that doesn't work. But if you go, man, this chicken is wrong. Absolutely. That's a chicken I like. That's a chicken I buy. I endorse that chicken. That is one El Pollo Loco. So, Karen, she's going to call them. And I'm like, what? Don't tell them that the chicken is wrong or whatever. I don't fuck it. And she's like, no, I got to call them. So she grabs the phone and I go, just do it in the bedroom. She's like, what? And I go, just go in the bedroom and do it. I don't want to hear it because I'm a child, and I could not mean that in a more literal sense, because when I was a child, my mom was a complainer at restaurants. My mom would not have no compunction with sending food back. My mom would call a waiter over, and if the waiter was rude or snippy, my mom would call the manager over and would immediately tell them. In a grocery store, my mom would complain. My mom worked at Jewel Foods, okay? And she worked in the chef's kitchen at first, which was where all the lunch meat and stuff is. But then she wound up working as a butcher. My mom worked in the meat department, and she, was an actual butcher. So she knew everything there was to know about meat. So my mom to this day will go to a grocery store and she'll go, I need stew meat and I need it from the chuck, and she'll tell them where to cut it and what part of the meat to cut. And the guy will like kind of smirk and go in the back and then bring out whatever bullshit he has back there. And my mom will look at it under the light and go, I told you to cut chuck against the grain. I need an 80-20 mix on the ground meat. My mom knows everything there is to know about fucking meat. She's every butcher, every fucking vendor, every merchant's nightmare, because my mom will complain and knows what the fuck she's talking about. My wife, however, just thinks the chicken is wrong, and that she has to pipe up and tell them about it. And look, let me go on board and say this too. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with us having paid for something, not getting what we expected, and telling them about it. My wife is not wrong here. This is just a deep-seated problem that I've had since I was a kid, because it embarrassed me then, and I've carried it with me 35 years into the future, because 10-year-old me hated hearing about how the sausage was wrong. By the way, if you want to hear me tell that story, go ahead and listen to Viggo Martin's Mental Illness Happy Hour podcast. Oh, man. 10-year-old me was not happy when the sausage was wrong. That sausage is wrong. That is not a sausage I can get on board with, folks. That sausage is wrong. Fuck, that's funny on 9 levels. All right, so see, no one listens to this and would call me and say that podcast is wrong. You can't. So there's nothing wrong with my wife stepping to the plate and getting a chicken explanation. That's fine. Good for her. She wants it. She deserves it. She should get it. We paid for it. But it drives me crazy to have to listen because she presumes that they're friends. Like she can call them and she'd be like, hey, Marcus, it's me, Karen. Like she literally has that shorthand with them and they don't know who the fuck you are. You're a fucking slip of paper that had chicken and gumbo on it. They don't know. I just said, please do me a favor, go in the bedroom and make the call because I can't listen to it. Because again, my mom was just a master of that. She would complain, and again, nothing wrong with my mom doing it now or then. It just, as a child though, it brings attention to you. And there was already enough attention that my mom would come in with 5 boys, and it was just a fucking thing. And it's funny that you think, oh, Mike doesn't want attention. Well, it's not that I don't want attention. You know that I love attention. Fuck, I love kudos. I love people who love me. That's great. But just that kind of attention is weird. The presumption of, hey, you know me, right? The chicken is wrong. It just seems odd and off to me. So she goes in the bedroom, she calls them. This is about a month ago. And she says, okay, yeah. She said, next time we go in there to just tell them and they'll take care of it. And I said, well, they're going to forget that. And she goes, no. And she goes, come on, they know us. And I go, they don't know us. They don't know us. Cut to last night. We're sitting in the house and we're trying to figure out what to eat for dinner. And I mentioned Golden Chopsticks. I mentioned Hyatt's. And I'm at the desk and Karen just goes, oh, what about Uncle Andre's? They owe us the chicken. And I go, they don't owe us anything. I go, they're not going to remember that chicken. She goes, well, no, they will because the chicken was wrong that day. And I go, you know what's funny? I barely remember the chicken. I barely remember the chicken confrontation. The chicken conflux, the chicken dust up, whatever you want to call it. I barely remember it. You think those two guys who a month ago told you they would remember, you think because they don't have a chicken book. Your name's not written down in it, for fuck's sake. So she's like, yeah, I'll go ahead and call them. And see me, I go, why are you going to call them? I go, if you're going to do this, you need to go there and physically look in their eyes and go, remember, you owe me some chicken? I mean, you can't collect a chicken debt over the phone, folks. If you want your chicken debt paid off, you look a man in the eyes. You walk right up and you face to face tell that man he owes you some fucking chicken and then he pays you off. You can't just call somebody and go, hey, remember me? You owe me some chicken. And then they just give it to you? That's bullshit. That's the kind of shit we used to do when we were fucking 13 when we'd go, hey, we ordered a pizza and it was bad. And then we try to get a free pizza out of it. We did it all the fucking time because the customer's always right and they're just supposed to give you stuff. Anyway, you go call them and go, hey, I was in the drive-thru. You shorted me 3 tacos. And they're like, that seems like weird. That would never happen. We go, no, you did. Okay, come on back. And they just give you 3 free tacos. Granted, they put their dicks in those tacos, but so what? If a free taco doesn't taste like dick, you haven't done your job that day.
Oh my God.
So Karen's like, I'm going to call them. I go, don't call them. I go, please. I don't. And she goes, no, it's fine. I'll call them and I'll take care of it. I go, Karen, don't call. And she picks up the phone. She goes, give me the number. I go, Karen, I'll give you the number, but just call them to make sure that they're there and then go there. If you want this, you need to go there. You can't. And she goes, give me the number. So I give her the number. She dials the phone. I go, Karen, they're not going to remember. They're not going to. And I'm sitting at the desk and she's sitting right across from me with the phone. And it's driving me crazy that she won't listen to me. It's driving me crazy that she presumes that they're going to know who we are. It's driving me crazy that she's even collecting a chicken debt. I mean, it's the fucking weirdest thing in the world because it's also embarrassing because we have our money situation is kind of in flux. So I'm trying to figure out where we can eat within a budget. Like we usually don't have a budget. We never did. We would just go, hey, let's go eat fucking $1 million worth of sushi. But now we kind of have a budget. And that's why we were debating. I was like, well, let's go to Golden Chopsticks and let's get this, but not this. And let's kind of, because we always order too much food, whatever the fuck. So she's like, well, we'll get the free chicken. It'll be amazing. I go, we're not going to get free chicken. I go, and even if you get free chicken from them, you need to buy something else and have them tag it with the free chicken. You can't just go, give me free chicken. You can't just storm into a place. Even if they owe you chicken, you need to do the courtesy of buying some ribs because otherwise they're just giving you free fucking chicken, and that's ridiculous. I don't get it. Don't you understand this? What is it? Is it just ladies who don't know this? What? So she calls them, and I'm sitting there, and she says, hi. She goes, what time do you close? And she already knows they close at 9, but that's her opening line. And they say, and she goes, is Marcus working? Now, this fucking restaurant is like as big as a dry cleaner's. That's the size of it. It's a walk-in. There's 10 seats in the lobby. In the back, the kitchen is close quarters where you're basically, everybody's got an elbow and everybody else's ribs. And I don't mean the ones on the grill. If Marcus is there, he is no doubt bent over a hot grill cooking ribs and fucking chicken and food, and he's way behind in his orders. So asking for him already is a mistake. I go, Karen, don't ask for Marcus. And she puts her finger up like, hold on. And she goes, oh, Joe is there? Okay, well, can I talk to him? And I'm like, oh my God, why are you asking to talk to him? He's cooking. He's the guy who runs the restaurant. He has no time to come to the phone. I read a book called Kitchen Confidential. Okay. Anthony Bourdain is a chef. He talks about being in the kitchen and he gets a phone call in the middle of the lunch rush. And they put it through and he's like, why the fuck would you ever put a phone call through to the chef in the lunch rush? He picks up the phone and it's a guy trying to sell him like exotic meat or like some sort of seafood. And he goes, oh, do you have a lot of restaurant accounts? And the guy goes, yeah. And he goes, so you would say that you actually do most of your business with restaurants? And the guy goes, absolutely. And he goes, then why the fuck are you calling me during the lunch rush, asshole? Slams the fucking phone down. I'm armed with that knowledge because I read the book. Karen, not armed with that knowledge, thinks that she can just call a chef off the line to have a conversation about wrong chicken. And how's that going to go? Hey, remember a month ago when you made me chicken and I didn't like it? Make me more. What the fuck? The presumption that someone would just make you more chicken is ridiculous to me without you sending any money their way, without shelling out another red cent. It makes no sense. So she asks for Joe, and they go to put Joe, and I go, don't get him. You've got to go in there. And she gets, and Joe gets on the phone, and she goes, hello, Joe. She goes, hi, it's Karen from Michael and Karen. And that was it. That was all I needed to hear. And look, I'm a child. I will tell you that right now. But it brought up all of the feelings of being 5 years old and having to talk to managers and seeing people come over and seeing my mom be mean to people. And rightfully so. Again, my wife is well within her rights. My mom was well within her rights. These people are absolutely doing the right thing. There's no wrong answer here for them. Actually, there is a wrong answer here for me. Let me tell you what it is. My wife says, hi, Joe, it's Karen from Michael and Karen. Just the fact that I've now been brought into it. I did this, folks. I put my fingers in my ears and I started to hum loudly. And so I didn't have to hear the conversation.
Oh my God.
Because I want nothing to do with a chicken ransom. I'm not involved. This is you and them. You think they know you? That's fine. Don't throw my name into the pot because I don't know these guys. They know a big fat white guy sometimes comes in for gumbo and chicken and that's it. We're not pals. We're not friends. How many Michaels do you think come through the fucking door there? And now I'm going to presume to be that. Not only that, but you're using my name as your bulldozer to get free fucking chicken? I don't like it. So I, again, at my desk, literally at my desk, again, literally, I say it again, and I don't care because this time I mean it. At my desk, I put my fingers in my ears and started to go humming so I wouldn't have to listen. And my wife comes over to me, and she's standing next to me, and I hear her. She goes, Michael. And she goes, Michael! She yells at me. She goes, stop it. You've got to stop that. Please stop it. And she goes, what do you want from there? What do you want? And I wouldn't look at her. And I've got my fingers in my ears and I'm humming. And she pulls my hand out of my ear. She goes, Michael, what are you ordering? What do you want to order from there? And I put my hand back in my ears and I started humming. Because again, I'm a fucking kid. I don't want anything to do with it. So the only escape I had, rather than storming out and slamming doors and being a dick, or I could have just been an easygoing person who realized this is what his wife was doing and just went, I want nothing to do with it, honey. But no, I put my fingers in my ears, plugged them and hummed. And I did it for what I assumed would be the length of the phone call. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I just sat at my desk doing it. My eyes were closed, so I didn't know what was happening because I didn't want to see her pleading eyes as she asked me if I wanted potato salad or red beans and rice. I wanted nothing to do with it. You want to go ahead and you're doing chicken business on your own. I'm out. I'm out of the chicken business.
Oh my God.
I will eat fucking grit from a dustpan before I eat free chicken I had to beg for over the phone, because that's what drove me crazy. Again, the money thing, it looked like I said, right, you know, I can't be party to my wife begging for chicken. This isn't Les Miserables. I dreamed a dream of my wife not having to beg for chicken over the phone and using my name to do it. So I finally unplug my ears. And I'm at the desk, and my wife's nowhere to be found. The phone is sitting next to me. So I pick up the phone and I order my Chinese food from Golden Chopsticks. And I get up and I open the bedroom door and she's in the room watching TV. And she goes, "Don't you ever do that to me again." I said, "I didn't do anything." And she goes, "You acted like an idiot. I just needed your help. I wanted to know what you wanted. I can't do it. I can't." And she goes, "Well, I can't believe you did that to me." And I go, "Fine." And I walked out. Went and got my Chinese food, came home. But when I say my Chinese food, I ordered the stuff we both love. It's not like I ordered just my own food. And I brought it home for her. And I put it on the countertop. And I started to make, because we had leftovers that I was going to eat. And I went in the bedroom and I said, "There's Chinese food if you want it." And she walked out. She goes, "Why did you do that?" I said, "Because I don't need to hear my wife beg for chicken. I don't need to hear you begging for chicken. It's ridiculous. And you go there, you look them in the eyes if you want your free chicken." I said, "What did you get from them?" She goes, "Nothing." I go, "Why?" She goes, "Because you wouldn't pay attention." I go, "Well, why do you need my permission to eat your chicken? If you want it, get it." That was my whole point, is I didn't want to be involved. If you want it, order it, do your thing. I'll pick it up for you. Just don't use my name and don't fucking make me do it, have to go in and beg for it. I don't want it. She's like, "What is wrong with you?" I said, "I don't know. But there's Chinese food if you want it." And she just shook her head and ate. And it was like we, agreed to disagree, and we watched Justified. But it was like, but she's pissed. She was pissed about it this morning still. I know she's pissed because she'll throw it into conversations. Because again, my wife is me. She's a fucking mirror image of me, and that was a mistake marrying that, folks. I'll tell you that. And the thing is, because she wasn't a mirror image of me in the beginning. Like, I think I turned her into me, and that's really bad. That's not good. And only on occasion. I mean, it's not like if she was like me all the time, fuck, I'd have my fingers in my ears and humming a lot more fucking often. So that's why I'm in trouble at home. So I'm happy to be here. I didn't care that Lily was mad at me yelling earlier. I was just like, yep. Literally, I stood here. God, I said literally again. We should just didn't we call the show that once?
Yes.
Holy shit. But you guys don't care, right? You're on board with me and saying literally a million times. It's a 2-hour show. I could repeat myself over and over. Fuck. All right. So my point is, you guys have been so nice and supportive to me. Are you doing that yet? Lily's got her fingers in her ears. Yeah, go ahead. Hum it up. I'll just sit here and eat my chicken and stare at you. And then I'll bring it up a week later and then a month later. "Hi, Joe. This is Mike or Karen from Mike and Karen." "Oh, yeah, of course. You, the stupid white people who want free chicken?" So you guys have reached out. I might need a place to stay is my point. Thank you so much. You've been so cool. I got a Christmas card from John Freeman and his son Quinn. And I throw his son Quinn in because he does every time now, because I made fun of them on the air. Because he donated a Kickstarter with his son, and he wanted the promo to mention his son. And now everything he gives me, any donation or anything, John Freeman and his son Quinn. I picture the two of them, like I said, out on the road, just with a shopping cart after the world ends, just trying to stay alive, coming upon a grizzled Robert Duvall, and Quinn is giving him peaches. So John and Quinn Freeman sent me a Christmas card, which was nice. And I got a Christmas card from, who else? Oh, Ryan McClellan stepped up and gave me a Christmas card and a donation, which was really nice of him. And he bought the download of Schmitty Comes Alive. But then in his Christmas card, he's like, "Hey, I bought the download of Schmitty Comes Alive, and I'm sending you this gift. So I guess I'm like your top internet chum." And no, Ryan, you're absolutely not my top internet chum. You're an internet chum, and thank you for stepping up. But just because you put ink to paper and then sent me some dough doesn't make you Captain Internet Chum. But that's fine, Ryan McClellan. You know what? For our purposes, I take it back. You are our number one internet chum, Ryan McClellan. Until now, this next person. What if I did that? I just yanked the rug out from fucking Ryan McClellan right away. Our friend Casey Murphy in Peoria, Illinois, sent me a nice donation through the mail and a Christmas card. Thank you so much. And a note, which I won't read here, but it was a very nice note telling me not to kill myself, which is good. I need that. I need that advice from you guys. There's another guy. All right, now this is going to be weird saying this name. Like I said, Casey Murphy sent me a check in the mail, and then this guy. This you're going to laugh because his name is Joseph Reichwein. Reichwein. I don't know. But it's funny that Oliver Reichwein would be in here. And then Joseph Reichwein, but he's from America. So maybe it's just Rich Ween. I have no idea. But, and Tassilo the Ham Reneker, he's going to make fun of me for making this name. And Reinecker? Fuck. Whatever. Who cares? People, just include your first name from now on. But Joseph Reichwein met me in Indianapolis. He came to the show. And with his wife. And his wife, was his wife with him? I don't remember. His wife made me a journal to write in. And she personally made it, like she built it. And the character Little Schmitty was on the cover. And which was great. It was amazing. And so I filled that journal up with chicken meanderings. Just bitching about this chicken. And now it's overflowed, so I had to bring it to you folks. But for Christmas, they sent me a journal for Karen in the mail. She handmade a journal for Karen and a check, which was really nice, a nice donation to the show. Although I thought Ryan McClellan was bad, wanting to be the number one internet chum. But Joseph Reichwein, and I hope your wife doesn't listen to the show, Joseph, because she made these journals. You really didn't do anything. You wrote the check, I guess. But your wife made me a journal, and then she made Karen a journal, and then you in your letter asked me if I could have Pia Zadora give you a blowjob. Now, I don't know what kind of power you think I wield in this town, but I can assure you, if I had the power to compel Pia Zadora to give blowjobs, your name would not be on the top of the list. I would have to keep that butterfly for myself. And by the way, that butterfly has become a moth. We just saw her. Did I mention that on the show? That you and I, Lily and I saw Pia Zadora. We were at Casa Vega, a Mexican restaurant, waiting to get seated, and Pia Zadora came in, and I'm like, that was Pia Zadora.
Yeah.
And Lily went, I don't care.
Yep.
Where's my mango sorbet?
Yep.
Because you think I care less about, little about people in this town? Lily cares even less. Because Lily has to deal with that shit in a nightclub. Like, I don't have to. Lily will deal with people, and they'll be like, oh, it's amazing. We've got like 20 people coming, and they're famous. And Lily's like, I don't fucking care. Do they have money? Then that's fine.
Are they buying a ticket?
If they buy their ticket, then good. Otherwise, don't fucking ask me about them. Not interested. And then bats her giant fucking fan dance eyelashes at them. Folks, seriously, like if she ever blinks her eyes 3 times in a row, she'll take off and fly away. They are the crazy. I make Karen laugh because whenever we leave the teas, I go, and I have my hands sticking out of my eyes and I'm blinking and making them go up and down because it looks she has fucking gigantic Icarus wings on her face. Waiting for Bruce Dickinson to start fucking singing.
Damn it.
Or Eddie Vedder. You all right?
Yeah.
This is good. I'm cleaning out your system. Should have had me do this last week. You'd have been better in a day. When we did the picture last week, it's funny. Mex is like, I can do that. And he sends me the picture. I'm like, dude, this is fucking amazing. So I send it to Lily, and I'm waiting. And she just sends me an email. She goes, I should be pissed, but my tits look fantastic, so I'm fine. I said, all right. But then part of me is like, why should you be pissed? Go to your Facebook page. Do you not see what you post on your Facebook page?
He drew me in the blue snuggie.
Yes, because you were in the blue snuggie. That's the show.
It's Eddie's phone page.
Is it really?
He put it on his
Oh, Eddie made it a screensaver? Good for him. By the way, Eddie is Eddie the Clown. Eddie is Lily's boyfriend, live-in boyfriend here at the oldest building in Hollywood. I saw him coming out of the elevator when I was on my way upstairs, and he's he's just a human cornstalk. I mean, he's just corny all the fucking time. That's his deal. He's funny. He's a nice guy when he's not being that guy. But then when he forgets that I'm not a children's party, it gets old fast.
But that's him.
So the fuck, exactly, which is good for him. But the elevator opens and he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I said, "Good night." And he had something in his hand, and so I went to give him a fist pound, but he still shook my hand anyway with the thing in his hand. And he goes, "Yeah," he goes, I'm just I'm just juggling my balls." And he had a pouch with golf balls in it. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, why would you buy golf balls just to make that joke? It's just the dumbest thing in the world. He goes, "Do you play?" And I go, "What?" And he goes, "Golf." He's on his way to golf. So then he opens up the pouch, and the golf balls, they glow in the dark, like they have red lights on them. He's like, "Yeah, I'm on my way to play golf." And I'm just like, "You really? What kind of a bullshit clown game is that? With like, I'm sure there's like 15 of them in one cart." And he's just got a glow in the dark golf ball. I'm like, really? You even extended to that part? Although I go the other way. What if he shows up to golf with real people and he gets up with like a red nose and a collapsing putter and fucking glowing balls, and they're just like, enough. God damn it, Harpo, can't we have one game in peace? No one cares that your 3-iron has makeup on it, Clarabelle. Fuck. My favorite part when he's like, "Do you play? Do you think I'm going to play golf with you? Really? You just showed me glow-in-the-dark golf balls." All right. Thank you to our friend Sherry Burkholder. Sherry sent a donation. You okay? Sherry sent a donation, but here's what Sherry did. Before she sent her donation, she put a thing on my Facebook page. She goes, "Could you make your donation thing any smaller?" And then like a day later, there was a donation from her. So in my head, I wanted to write, "Well, I guess you fucking found it." But that's not what you do with people who send you money, right? You're supposed to be nice. And would you want an oppressive donation link? What if it was gigantic? No, it's going to be in the upper left-hand corner. It's the little Schmitty with his pocket out. You know, the thing I say every fucking week of this show, so you knew where to look for it, no matter how small it was, right? Sherry? All right, that's mean. But I can say that because she already sent her money. All right, so I get a Christmas card from Nicole and Judd, who I actually hung out with here. And we went to the restaurant where Lily and I saw Pia Zadora. I actually ate there with Nicole and Judd. Karen and I did. And then remember we took them, we went to Animal and we went for Sprinkles. And it turns out Nicole is pregnant.
I didn't do it.
So Lily's off the hook. Nicole is pregnant. And this is really awesome. They not only did they send me the Christmas card, but Nicole is pregnant. And I guess they're going to name the baby either Mike or Lily.
No, they're not. No.
Now, they didn't say that in so many words. What they did was they posted on Facebook, "Oh my gosh, Nicole is pregnant," on their public page. And I saw it in my feed. It wasn't directed to me and they didn't write it on my wall or anything. However, just from the good time we had at Animal and at Sprinkles Cupcakes and all of the support they've had for the show over the years, I think it's a fait accompli that the baby is either going to be Mike or Lily. It's pretty obvious. So I just wanted to go ahead and get in front of this and thank them now before the birth announcement came out. So thank you, Nicole and Judd, for thinking of us in that way and naming the baby Mike or Lily. That's fantastic. Our friend Will Pfeiffer, who has sent me things in the past, been very nice. He donates to the show. I had a show a couple of weeks back where I talked about Spanky from the Little Rascals and how cute he was. And then he got older and they kept dressing him in a fucking Spanky outfit even though he was 41. And his daddy still called him baby. So he, Will Pfeiffer took my talking about Spanky and ran with it, and he sent me a complete DVD set of all of the Little Rascals shorts. It's like 10 DVDs.
Wow.
For Christmas, it showed up. And then my favorite part is he included a note that basically apologizes for sending it. And it's funny, I had talked about the Little Rascals, I guess, a few years ago, and he wrote me to correct me on something. There was a guy named Brisbane. I think that's the guy who said, learn that poem. And he wrote me to correct me on it and let me know what the answer was. So this time he sends the gift, and he's like, you were talking about Spanky, and so I thought of you, and so I wanted to send you these DVDs. It's the complete set of including that episode. He goes, this is what introduced me to comedy as a kid, to see them, using the cart with the boxing glove that punched people, and the don't drink the milk, it's spoiled, all those things. And there's things that I remember too. It's funny, it's this touchstone where we remember the same types of episodes when they were younger. When they were younger, they were fucking hysterical. So then later on in the note, he writes, he goes, I was the guy who wrote you about Brisbane a couple of years ago. Please know that I don't spend my entire life sitting around watching The Little Rascals waiting to tell you about them. But I wanted to make sure that I went ahead and sent you this box set. So that was fucking amazing, Will. Thank you so much for Christmas. He sent me the Little Rascals, like the complete DVD set of all of their shorts. And have I watched it yet? No. Because I've been very busy with my fingers in my ears humming. So I haven't been able to watch anything, quite frankly, at this point. But eventually, I will throw those DVDs in and check out Spanky and watch it over and fucking over again. So a lot of you guys have stepped up. You've been very nice. You've sent me things. There are people who donate every month. There are people who have just sent large donations. Everybody's been so great and reached out to the show. If you'll take a look at the artwork this week, which you've probably already seen, but those are people who all stepped up and sent me things, and either monthly donors or sent gifts, or sent even just words of encouragement once the shit hit the fan and I lost my gig. You know what? Let's talk about this real quick. I have a friend named Robert Chaz Shute. I don't know if he wants his full. Is that his full name? I mean, it's Robert Chaz Shute. That's his author's name, and I mentioned his author's name because Robert Chaz Shute. I got a package from him. He had been looking for my address for a while, and I had not sent it to him. But I opened it up, and I got a book. Robert is an author. You can actually go to Amazon.com and search Robert Chaz Shute, and it's Chazz. And he has, I think he's got like 10 books, 8 books. He's got a podcast called the All That Chaz podcast as well. You can subscribe to that in iTunes. And he's written a ton of books, including a series of mystery books called Bigger Than Jesus, Higher Than Jesus. He has a third coming this year. But he reached out and he sent me a book called Higher Than Jesus. And that is Volume 2, because Volume 1 was Bigger Than Jesus, Volume 1. Thank you, Robert, for sending me Higher Than Jesus, Volume 2. I don't fucking know why you wouldn't send me Bigger Than Jesus, Volume 1, because I think we've already established that I can't just jump in the middle of something. So the whole time I read Higher Than Jesus, Volume 2, I'm going to be wondering what the fuck happened in Bigger Than Jesus, Volume 1. I can't do it. I can't be on board. Thank you for thinking of me. But Robert has been a guy who is, he has been writing Joe Rogan like weekly to try to get me on the Joe Rogan podcast, which has been really nice. He's been doing it on Twitter and I guess writing him emails. And then Robert and I have corresponded. He's, because he's kind of in the same boat as me. We're the same age. He has a podcast. He's an author and he's chasing his dreams just like I am. And he's been very nice to say that I've inspired him, and I've been very nice to say thank you, because you haven't inspired me at all, Robert. So, because I don't know you, and I won't read Higher Than Jesus because I didn't get Bigger Than Jesus. Robert stepped up, actually. He actually bought Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan did a $5 download special, and Robert got me that for Christmas. So he sent me the special, and then he sent me the book in the mail. And the thing, I will tell you this, there is a reason he sent me Higher Than Jesus. Because I, like I said, he said I'm an inspiration for him and he likes the show a lot and he listens. I can tell you, if you get Higher Than Jesus, I don't want to give too much. Well, I'll just tell you what the fuck. He named a character Chinese Rick after my son. Because, my son's Bomb Pop and Chinese Rick, who are future China babies. Well, there's a character named Chinese Rick in Higher Than Jesus, Volume 2. And, also, you should buy the book and check it out because I'm in the book. There is a commercial for the podcast. I guess a character is listening to it and mentions it and talks about it. And Like I said, I don't want to give it away because you're going to read the book, and eventually, when you discover that part, you're going to go, "Fuck, cool," because I know you're all going to read the book, right? You're all going to buy it. Of course, you'll have to buy Bigger Than Jesus Volume 1 first, and then write me and tell me what happens, so I can go ahead and read Higher Than Jesus Volume 2. And also, this is funny. He sent me the book, and I didn't know what it was. Like, he told me he was sending me something because he wanted my P.O. box. So I got the book, or I got the package. It's in brown paper, and he's from Canada. Robert. So I open up the package, I rip it up, and I open it, and I start to see the box, and it says Jumbo Crispy Wings. And I get all the paper off, and it's from some company in Montreal, like Le Menu, whatever the fuck. And it was Jumbo Crispy Wings. And in my head, I'm like, wait a minute, this has been sitting at the post office for fucking 6 days. If you sent me frozen chicken wings, they are fucking deceased at this point. But I opened it up, and luckily there was a book inside. So it wasn't chicken wings. Because if it had been chicken wings, I can guarantee you my wife would have called Robert Chaz Shoot. Hello, Robert. It's Karen from Michael and Karen. Yes, you owe us some chicken wings after mailing them. International Post. So John and Quinn, Will, Joseph, KC, Ryan, Nicole and Judd, Rob, Robert, Chaz, Shoot, Bob Lemon, Brendan Zwelling, Sherry, Pop-Tarts, Andy, Oliver Reckbein, Tassilo the Ham Renneker. Thank you so much for all you sent me this Christmas and thinking of me and sending me cards and donations and things. And again, like I said, check out the artwork, because you will see the names of people who are monthly donors, people who have sent words of encouragement, people who just sent one-time large donations once they found out I didn't have a job. And by the way, that is by no means a comprehensive list. I mean, there's been people who've been giving since the show began. I've covered that in other shows. I've mentioned people, I've thanked people. Everybody's gotten a note from me. There's so many, and I owe notes. I know thank yous to everyone. But please know that there's, the artwork and the names I just kind of covered, those are very recent. And if you've been a long-time sponsor or donator or donor to the show, I appreciate it very much. And, and actually consider yourselves lucky, because look what I just fucking said about all these people. You want me to say your name and make fun of you? Probably not. But once I lost the gig, a lot of people stepped up and who hadn't been giving things, or not even that haven't been giving, but there were people who wrote me and said, it bothers me. I have never supported financially, and now I really want to take the time and do that. And so they did, which was cool. And by the way, why don't I throw this in your lap? About a week ago, I talked to a friend of mine who lives in the building where I worked. They've had 6 break-ins since we got fired. 6 break-ins of vehicles in the parking garage, and had things stolen out of the cars. And I talked to her and I said, man, that's all, because she had one, her car was broken into. It's funny, when she said that, I didn't know that she meant in the building. So then I wrote her and I go, man, that's a drag that you lost a bunch of stuff. And she's like, yeah. She goes, we've had 6 break-ins since you guys got fired. I go, this happened in the building? She goes, yeah. She goes, everybody here is furious. They were mad that they fired you guys, but now they're really mad because I guess they go to the management and the management company and they complain about it. And they're just like, well, we're sorry. We're going to review the security tapes. Like, because again, the cameras don't do anything but film the guy stealing your shit. That doesn't mean you're going to get your shit back. It just means that they go, oh, look, that was that dude. And then they can tell people. It doesn't matter. The whole point was I was there and breathing. So when I heard something, I went and chased him down. So I'm unhappy that my friends are being victimized, but God damn it, fuck you. I hope your building burns to the fucking ground, but all my friends get their stuff out. And nobody's hurt. It's one of those miracle fires where the building completely burns, but everything within it is saved, and everybody's happy. So I want to reach out. I just wanted to make sure that I said thanks to you guys for stepping up and doing the things that you did. And a lot of you are buying tickets now for Chicago, and you're buying tickets to the shows that I'm out. I'll talk more about that on the other side of the break here. But I can't thank you enough. Again, like I said, all I have now is this show. And granted, that's all I had before. It's not like the security job was anything that I loved. Oh my God, it's so great. But really, this now, until I find something, this is my job. And it's kind of how I make my living. And for you guys to step up and donate financially and send things, I can't tell you how much it means to me, to David, to Lily, to have you constantly support the show. Never think that you haven't made an impact. Never think that you're not appreciated. There's not a day that goes by, certainly not a Wednesday that goes by, that I don't think of all of you and everything you've done for me and the show. I'm grateful because, man, there's a lot of choices out there, seriously, and getting to be more and more every single day. And I am so grateful that you decided, with all the choices, all the people out there that you could come home with, you decided to come home with Big Lots Mike. You guys can get me at mike@MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can be my friend at Facebook.com/the40yearoldboy. You can follow me at Twitter.com/the40yearoldboy. Looking for more friends? Go to Facebook.com/DavidMexHernandez and be his friend. He's the guy who does all the music and the artwork for the show in an amazing fashion. You can be our friend Lily Von Stup's friend at Facebook.com/Lily Von Stup. You can follow her at Twitter.com/MNTs or Twitter.com/Lily Von Stup. And if you want to write her a personal note and find out just how excited she is to get naked on Saturday night, you can write her at Lily@burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com.
Drink your coffee, hold some pencils, soak your forks deep, hold more pencils, throw a Garayever on these mugs, there's plain Bushmini on these mugs, go buy these wicked awesome mugs, at MikeSchmidtComedy.com,
Want to remind you guys about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at Santa Monica and Vine. The Three Clubs is the name of the club there. It is 10 o'clock p.m. every Monday, as I've mentioned. Fabulous magicians, wonderful naked people, thick liquor. Liquor's not thick. That would be awful. Stiff drinks and a bar atmosphere in the front and a show atmosphere in the back. It's an amazing, one-of-a-kind event done every week. And it's produced by a good friend of mine. Her name is Lily Von Stup, and she happens to be here today. Hey, Lily.
Hi.
How are you?
I am fabulous.
You sound a million times better than you sounded last week.
Yes, but I still have a ways to go.
True, you are still ill and you are soldiering on, riding your Robitussin canoe through Phlegm Rapids, but that's fine because you will be fine by this weekend.
I hope so.
How was the tease this week?
Tease was wonderful. Our first show of 2013, and it was great.
You were sick too, but you were there.
I was. I pretty much, I sat at a table
Wow.
and watched the first half of the show.
You don't do that.
No, it was awful, and I hated sitting at the table and watching, and I finally had to get up and go sit where I normally sit to watch the back of the performers and the audience, and then it was much more comfortable for me.
Good for you.
It was a great show, but I can't sit in an audience. It's like when you say you don't go to comedy shows.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to sit and watch and be passive. I have to be part of what's happening to make it work.
Well, next time you do that and you wind up at a table and that you don't want to be at and you're watching, put your fingers in your ears and hum.
I might.
The performers will enjoy that.
We can do that the next time I'm hosting.
Yeah, do that. I should do it on stage all the fucking time, believe me. Well, good. It was great. Were there debuts? Who was there this past Monday?
Amazing girl, Rainbow Love, did a wonderful gender-bending number to an acoustic version of Lady Gaga's Born This Way. And
All right.
like, brought tears to people's eyes. It was so beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. And there's a show this week. Obviously, there's a theme show, a regular show.
It is my birthday party.
That's right, it is.
And we have
Well, let's hold on. Let's go in order here really quick. Thursday night,
Thursday night.
which is tonight,
Tonight.
with the show being released, there is a Come One, Come All
Come one, come all. Come everybody. Come everywhere.
burlesque gallery showing for the Monday Night Teas.
Yes.
Where is this show being held?
This happens at the Perfect Exposure Gallery, and that is on 6th Street in downtown LA.
Google the Perfect Exposure Gallery on 6th Street in downtown Los Angeles.
Yes.
Parking is a nightmare. You need to park at meters or park across the street for $2, I think.
Absolutely.
But you will go there, and tomorrow is the opening reception.
Tomorrow's the opening reception. The show actually starts on Friday, but we're having our opening party from 6 to 9. Come have some wine and check out the thing and hobnob with a bunch of the performers. We have a ton of performers that are going to be there.
So on the wall, you will see unclothed performers, and in the crowd, you will see clothed performers.
I think some of them are going to show up pretty trashy looking because that's what they do.
Well, I was about to mention there's going to be free wine, so you never know. Eventually,
may break out.
yeah, the crowd performers may match the wall sooner than you think. So that's tomorrow or tonight, Thursday night. If you happen to be in Los Angeles and you want to find something to do, it's free, correct? It's free to go out and check all the photographs out. It's the opening gala, and there's like a media wall and pictures and a carpet and all that kind of stuff. Lily has worked extremely hard, and a lot of you gave to her Indiegogo campaign, and we thank you so much for that. Well, if you want to see what you paid for, come out this night, tonight, from 6 to 9 at the Perfect Exposure Gallery on 6th in downtown Los Angeles. Go check it out. I think I'm going to be there. It all depends on my wife and her schedule tomorrow, but I think I will be there. That's Thursday, which is tonight. Now,
And that show stays open, and those pictures are on the wall and available to be viewed for 6 weeks.
6 weeks, this gallery opening. Well, it's not an opening for 6
The
weeks,
gallery
but
showing the exhibit
yeah.
lasts for 6
the
weeks.
Monday Night Tease exhibit at the Perfect Exposure Gallery lasts for 6 weeks. You'll see the picture of Tarantino, all sorts of cool stuff. The pictures are Lily's favorites from the Monday Night Tease over the years. So
Amazing show.
some great shots, and they're for sale, right, as well?
Everything's for sale.
So tomorrow, or tonight, I should say, is Thursday. So it is a free show. Go and check it out at the Perfect Exposure Gallery on 6th in downtown Los Angeles. And then Saturday, for those of you that gave a certain amount on Indiegogo, there is a private event at the same space. Don't come if you didn't give there's a list. There's a whole list and bouncers and
Yes, there is.
bullshit. So don't do that. But I will be there, and I'm excited to see Lily because apparently I've heard stories about what she'll be wearing or not wearing. So don't think next week's show won't be really awkward.
I didn't get a dress, so I figured just a bra, panties, and a big fur coat.
To start out with, who knows what happens after that? So that's Saturday, but you guys can't go unless you gave extra money to Indiegogo, and then I will see you there, which is great. And then the Monday Night Tease is coming up this week, and that is your birthday show because your birthday is Saturday. Yeah, January 12th is Lily's birthday, so by all means go to her Facebook wall and let her know how much you love her and happy birthday, because that's important. America's Yearbook, you have to show how you feel.
That's so much.
But that's why people need to do it, because you need to be broken of your habit of hating the people who love you. So Monday is your birthday show at the Monday Night Tease. Are you hosting or performing or just there?
Well, people keep telling me I should be performing, but I wasn't planning on it.
I don't think you should perform.
I don't either.
Yeah, just being in the room and getting a lot of kudos. Now, is that raffle going to take place that I heard of?
We are, yeah. We've got 8 performers. We have a magician as well, and we have a band after the show.
But more importantly, there's a band, a magician, and 8 performers, but it's Lily's birthday show. Now, everybody who attends the show, buys a ticket, and gets in will get a raffle ticket. Everybody who comes into the show will get a raffle ticket, and then there will also be raffle tickets on sale
I don't know if I'm going to do that. That seems silly.
if you want multiple chances. But the person who wins that raffle gets to come on stage and spank Lily for her birthday. Spank her bare ass in front of everyone in the room. So everyone who shows up gets a ticket, and you're automatically included in the raffle. But then, like I said, there will be extra tickets on sale if you want extra chances to get your hands on Lily's fine female form. There you go, smack it up. And there will be a drawing. So again, everybody who shows up gets a free ticket, but then you can buy extra chances to go ahead and spank Lily for her birthday on stage at the Monday Night Tease. And I will show up with a prodigious amount of cash to enter this drawing, because I want Wednesday's show to be super awkward. Not only it'll be awkward on Saturday from seeing her naked, but then Monday, oh my God, to get my hands on her, forget about it. This is going to be a horrible turn of events. And by the way, if I do win that raffle, you do not want to see where I'm going to stick my fingers and hum. So go to all of these shows. Go to MondayNightTees.com for upcoming shows and ticket sales. Go to BrownPaperTickets.com. Search Lily Von Stupper Monday Night Tees, and you will find tickets on sale there for all of the shows. Go ahead and do that. We'd like to see you out there. Please remember to go to artbydmh.com. That's ARTBYDMH. That's my friend David Hernandez. He does all of the music and all of the artwork for this show, all of the commercials, all the bumpers. Everything that you hear are from the brains of my friend David M. Hernandez. So go to artbydmh.com if you need to hire someone to do some work, or if your work is looking for an artist, a freelance guy, they can go there and check out his work, because he works quickly, he works beautifully. So go ahead and try to check out artbydmh.com and get somebody on board if anybody needs anything done. Go to facebook.com/the40year-old boy. And remember, there are pages there where you can bring me to your town. I've actually fulfilled a few of them. I have live dates coming up that I should tell you about, folks. Please remember that I am going to be in Chicago, actually in Aurora, Illinois, at Comedy at the Shrine Theater in Aurora, Illinois on Friday, February 1st. Tickets on sale now at brownpapertickets.com, as they are for all of my live dates. Search my name and you'll find all the dates, or you can just go ahead and search Aurora or Comedy. But tickets are on sale now at brownpapertickets.com for the show in Chicago on February 1st. That's a Friday night show. Please remember that you know what? Actually, I was going to go in order, but I have to tell you about new shows. March 2nd, ladies and gentlemen, March 2nd, we have business in San Antonio, Texas. At the Woodlawn Black Box Theater. Tickets are on sale now at brownpapertickets.com for the show in San Antonio, Texas at 8 o'clock. That's a Saturday night, I should tell you. Saturday night, March 2nd in San Antonio at the Woodlawn Black Box Theater. It is me doing a truncated version of the one-man show, getting it in shape for the CD recording I'm going to tell you about in just a second. So that's February 1st. Remember, I'm 5 years old. February 1st in Chicago/Aurora. At the Comedy at the Shrine Theater. And then March 2nd in San Antonio. That's Saturday night, March 2nd in San Antonio at the Woodlawn Black Box Theater. The following week, because I'm really good at routing myself and scheduling, we will be in Michigan, Detroit. Technically, we're on the outskirts of Detroit. That's Saturday, March 9th at the Box Theater in Mount Clemens, Michigan. They have been really cool with me, and we wound up booking the show. It worked out great. So Detroit has been waiting quite a while for me to come out there, and you've been very patient and very nice. So please do me a favor, buy some tickets, because that would make me realize I did not make a mistake, and I did not make you wait in vain, and I'd come to the show, and we'll all have fun. And I'm going to be in town. These are kind of in and out. I'm not going to be spending a lot of time in town for those. I will be in Portland and San Francisco because I'll be in town for a couple of days for those. But so March 2nd, San Antonio at the Woodlawn Black Box Theater. That's a new show. Saturday, March 9th in Mount Clemens, Michigan, just outside of Detroit at the Box Theater. Buy tickets. All of these tickets are on sale at brownpapertickets.com. Please know that I will be in Portland, Oregon at the Headwaters Theater on March 29th. That's a Friday. March 29th in Portland, Oregon. Tickets are on sale now through brownpapertickets.com. Portland, go and see me the final week before I have to tune it up for my CD recording. Let's get it all in shape, and you guys can help me. And April 5th, I am in San Francisco. A Special Thing Records is recording me for my first CD. That's April 5th at the Dark Room Theater in San Francisco, California. Tickets are on sale now at brownpapertickets.com for San Antonio, for Detroit, for Chicago, for Portland, for San Francisco. Jesus Christ, I got to buy a lot of plane tickets. So go ahead and buy some tickets. That'd be great, folks. And it would ensure that I had some money to eat while I was in town. Well, not eat money. I don't want to eat money. That seems ridiculous. I want to go ahead and sample your local delicacies, folks. That's how I do it. So go ahead and buy tickets to all of those shows available at brownpapertickets.com right now. Search my name. Search Success is not an option. All of them should come up, I think. I hope. I think. Let's see. Please go to my website, MikeSchmidtComedy.com, and go to the Joe Business page. We have signed artwork on sale. We have, well, not on sale. I mean, it's the same price. That seems ridiculous to say on sale. For sale. There you go. We have T-shirts. Red Boy and Scar Panda available. We have mugs. That would be the Thorgar and Yeep mug, as well as the Fireboy mug. Those are available through Zazzle.com. Please remember that year 1, year 2, year 3, and year 4 of this podcast are available individually. Or if you wanted to buy your friend Tasso Ham a download set in Germany, you can do just that. Buy the podcast of the Caribbean set available now. That's year 1, year 2, year 3, and year 4, just for the price of 3. Available now on the website, as well as, let's see, shirts. Oh, the Schmitty Comes Alive download is for sale. $5 for the, honestly, what I consider the best representation of what this show is, or the live show, certainly. So, pick that up, $5 for the Schmitty Comes Alive download. And please remember that tweakedaudio.com/40 sponsors this show and always has. They sell autoerotic asphyxiation earbuds and cock ring watches that you can pick up right now. Tweakedaudio.com/40. And they've been very nice. They just sent me a package, as I mentioned. I went and picked it up. Thank you so much, Bruce. Thank you so much, Peggy. I still wanted to talk to them about doing a giveaway thing or a deal, but I have not been able to do that yet. I haven't been able to contact them. I actually lost Bruce's email. I didn't lose it. I just got to find it. So, Bruce, if you're listening to this, contact me so I don't have to go digging in a mountain of correspondence to find your email address, because that's how I do things. I make people reach out to me. So that's live dates. That's Joe Business. That's tweakedaudio.com/40. And I still have my beard. I'll tell you this real quick, folks. I still have my beard that I had in St. Louis, and it's just grown more. I trim it, obviously, but I'm a little worried about it. I'm in a weird phase right now with my beard, so I don't know whether I should keep it. I throw it to you guys, and tell me what you think. I'll take it. I'll take your opinions. And obviously, I'm not going to do what you say. You know that. But I still want to know how you feel about it. But the problem is, it's like I said, it grows kind of on my neck, and my face looks like it's melting. If my face was higher up, it would be okay. But now it's kind of growing on my face, but in a weird tumbleweed pattern, and it doesn't behave, so it kind of sticks out. So my beard is in the President Lincoln, I have the floor, let's talk about the 18th Amendment phase. Do you know what I'm talking about? That weird kind of mutton choppy, wispy, thin, weird. If it was gray, I'd look like I should belong on like the 5, like that sort of thing. It's in the phase where like the only woman who would like it is Little Miss can't be wrong. Does that make sense to you? Because there is a real Spin Doctors feel to my face right now, and I got to get rid of it. I don't. And it feels weird. Even when I talk on the phone, it kind of itches and it presses in. It's growing in weird. I feel like I'm going through a second puberty. Like my face is going through puberty. Because like when you're a kid and you start growing hair in weird places, you're like, Jesus, and you can't keep your hands off it. I find myself like stroking my face. It's so ridiculous because it's just, and it looks bad. I think it looks bad. And Karen keeps going, no, it doesn't look bad. But I don't know if that's, hey, you're my husband, I have to reassure you it doesn't look bad. Or, hey, dumb fuck, way to put your fingers in your ears and hum. I can't wait to see how everybody looks, how stupid you look. It doesn't look bad. So I can't figure it out. Lily has refrained from telling me, and she will not say, which is fine. I understand. She wants to abstain. But you know what the thing is? The bottom line is I don't like it. So I think I want to take it off, but the beard itself actually looked okay. There are some angles it looks good and some it looks terrible. I can't decide. So I throw it open to you folks. Tell me what you think about this beard, because right now I got to stop. I'm tired of being stopped by guys in stovepipe hats and talking about slavery. It's not something I'm excited about. I mean, sure, normally I would go ahead. If they just wanted my opinions on slavery, then I have that conversation. But they're only doing it because of my facial hair, because I think that's what I want to talk about. That's the thing. If I wind up having some impromptu conversation with a tall gentleman who chops wood and grew up wrestling in the backwoods of Illinois about slavery, then fine. But if he approaches me and he sees this facial hair and he goes, wow, I got to talk to that dude about slavery, that's not good at all. I mean, I look like I should be wearing a peasant shirt and carrying a moonshine jug with 3 X's on it. I look weird, like hillbilly weird. But it's not that bad. Certain angles, it's great. So I just got to figure out what you guys think about it. Because I have a tone. Because you know why? Because I talk quickly and I don't fucking think. That's why. I think that's what it means when you have a tone. Is you don't fucking bother to care what comes flying out of your goddamn mouth. I try to grow the show and I want people to get on board and they're like, I listen to it and you talk too fast. Really, I talk too fast. How the hell else am I supposed to cram all of this into a small 3-hour window? Dude, there's no script. I just go over this shit on the fly. It makes me laugh. If it doesn't make you laugh, turn the fucking station. And by turn the station, I mean turn the wheel of your car right into a guardrail. Jesus fuck. Hey, where you going, boy, boy, boy?